Welcome everyone, my throat hurts like shit. I wanted a hero. Today joined by Pink Sparkle Buff for this episode of the Shut Your Mouth Lounge. Not joined by the anti-Snitsky, WSS. Are we still doing the anti-Snitsky thing?
I mean, he's kind of putting a roadblock in front of us again. So yeah, he is in fact the reverse Snitsky to this very day.
So yeah, today we're gonna talk about mainly fighting games again because now Pink can also talk about them, and I guess W won't join in and give us some of his knowledge because he ain't here. And we haven't seen him in 11 days. I mean, we said in 11 hours. So yeah, um, let's go ahead with the easiest one to go over. Rainbow Six Siege is getting updated on June 5th, I think. It's June 5th for season pass owners and the week after for people who don't have the season pass, so us. The new operation is called Operation Parabellum, which means get ready or something in Italian. I have no idea. I forgot to translate it because, of course. But either way, it exists. We're getting two new defenders. One of them is Alibi, whichever way is the right way to pronounce that, and Maestro.
Alibi.
Yeah, Alibi. And Maestro. Alibi will have a cloaking thing. Freaking, she will have a deployable two-pack hologram to um take the enemy's eyes off of her. And Maestro has a deployable turret that he needs to connect through his phone, I think, to use. We also saw the new stage that we get called just Willow, I think,
Yeah.
and it's heavily inspired by Monteriggioni's Villa Auditore and the Villa Ezio buys himself before dying in Embers. Spoilers. Old man dies. Spoilers. But yeah, that's about it. Do you want anything to add? Do you want to add anything? I mean, freaking words.
I think we've already talked about the operators in a podcast like a couple weeks ago or so. But in case we haven't, I will say I don't like the idea of a turret type character in the game. But if the operator has to use the phone to operate the turret and the turret does not like fire as a human would, like I don't want to have people walk into a room and just get shredded by a turret that's placed there while the other guy is off, an entirely different room protected. It just feels too cheap to me. So I'd like to see. Well, I'm not really sure what I'd want to see from a turret, but I'm having high hopes that the Rainbow Six crew doesn't like introduce a basically an overpowered version of Tachanka.
I mean, from what we know, I think that he can't leave the turret alone. I mean, he can leave the turret alone, but he will have to be on the phone like he's controlling a drone.
Yeah,
So at
I
least
know
there's
that
that.
much. I'm just not wanting the turret to be able to shred through people because that just doesn't feel engaging to me in any way. Takes the fun out of the gunplay.
Oh yeah. So let's move on to Game Pass. So yeah, all of us bought Game Pass so we can play Payday together. We haven't played Payday in 2 weeks.
Yep, kind of screwy.
Yeah. I mean, we did do the Sea of Thieves thing. That did happen.
Yes, yes.
So
Like
yeah, go ahead,
that
go
was a
ahead.
pretty incredible experience.
Yeah, my favorite part was either, I think when I felt, I couldn't find it in the raw footage, but my favorite part was when I got so freaking drunk that I tried jumping over a cannon and fell into the water, and then immediately got myself back up while the ship didn't stop.
I hope that makes it in the video.
It didn't. I couldn't find it. Otherwise, it would be. And
Uh,
like I looked all over the place, but I couldn't. Like I found when I first fell in. I found when like um I fell in two times due to jumping on the boat. I found the
yeah,
second time, but I couldn't find the first one where I got myself back up.
that's unfortunate.
Which of course means that I just imagined it.
No, yeah, because you were so drunk. It's like
Yeah.
can't trust yourself with those memories.
Otherwise, the game is an empty shell of anything ever. And I mean, have you looked at the description that I wrote?
On your video?
Yeah,
Because I actually don't think I did. I can pull it up real quick and have a gander.
just read it out when you find it.
Okay. Join our crew in this vast empty space we call Sea of Thieves as they try to become pirates and trade chicken. And that sums it up pretty darn perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, trying to trade chicken is literally the only thing we did, and drink, I guess. But that just comes
Oh
with
yeah.
that just comes with um trading chicken. Bloody
Yep.
words.
Spoiler alert for everybody, even though the other parts might already be up by the time this podcast goes up. But at the conclusion of our epic pirate quest, we all get drunk and die.
I don't. I only have Alex dying in.
Yeah, no, I don't think we all died, but we all got drunk off our asses and
Yeah,
sailed
that's not it
away
either because
one
I
final
couldn't finish
time.
the 20-minute video.
You can do multiple parts, man.
I did too, and I was like, do I really just want to make a 10 or a 5 to 10 minute video of us just being drunk? And then I said, not really, but I guess maybe I'll edit as a director's cut later on.
Yeah, just to try to edit it down to a 2-minute video so you just get the end result of us getting and being drunk
No,
and trying to get the ship off the harbor.
I actually just put in the start of it that we're just celebrating actually being able to do one mission, and then
Yeah,
and then it cuts to W falling off, and that's the end of the video because that's all I could fit in.
sounds good to me. Yeah, it's very unfortunate because I was actually surprised at how good some of the parts of the games, or not games, game was, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a full game. It's like a beta, and I'm surprised they've released it at this point. And Microsoft is kind of hyping it up as their big exclusive title, and there's nothing to it. It's not by no means would I consider it a fun game. If you don't have friends to play it with, there's absolutely no reason to get into Sea of Thieves. There's
And even then, you're still gonna get bored only when watching
yeah,
it back where you actually experience any fun.
you're absolutely going to experience boredom. It's not a game that you'll go back repeatedly and play. It's like I find it ridiculous that they're making people buy the game. It should be a free to play with microtransactions. Like that's the best thing I would give it.
Yeah.
But even that is stretching it because I still think it should be a free to play beta until they figure out what they want to do with it.
But yeah, just for the record, because nobody aside from us knows this, but we recorded 4 hours of footage in that game, and I could only put in 40 minutes into two videos. I mean, there's the like 20 minutes of us being drunk, but like
Yeah.
that's not really gameplay. And otherwise,
Yep.
what's up with the rest of the like 3.5 hours? Was doing nothing, just waiting for the game to end.
Yeah. Like there there were a lot of fun shenanigans we could encounter in there, and like we've been saying, it's just kind of boring at the other parts. Like the what really irks me is the ship battles. You have all these cannons on your ship, and you're supposed to be pirates, but you don't get to use them unless you encounter other people. And why are you going to attack other people? Is there any point to it?
Also, there are no other people. The only people we've met
Oh
in
no,
Sea of
no,
Thieves
we encountered
when
some people.
yeah, we encountered two people who killed us, and then we encountered three randos whom we locked in the brig, and also that
Oh
one guy we
yes,
drank
absolutely.
with.
Yeah,
So that's a grand total of six people, I think, if my math is correct.
yeah. It's like it gave us the mechanics to do ship battles, but there's no point to it because you're not often going to meet other people. And if you do meet other people and you sink their ship and whatnot, it's like a congratulations, maybe. I don't know what they get for doing it,
Nothing.
but you're not. Yeah, you probably don't get anything because you don't get anything in that game at all.
Yeah,
And it would have been nice to have like other NPC boats out on the waters so you could actually raid those and do actual pirate stuff, but they don't give you that option.
I'm
It's like,
obligated now. They get nothing, sir. or
yeah,
whatever the freaking reference is. No, they get nothing. They lose, sir. Is the
yep.
reference.
Good
But
day,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. I haven't watched freaking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in I don't know how long. And even that was
Yeah,
in Hungarian, so.
yep. I've honestly only seen that movie once, several years back, maybe even a decade at this point.
But yeah, otherwise with Sea of Thieves, um, it's just a good pile of wasted time all around, I'd say. I mean, like,
Yep.
I at this point, I don't think that I really need to talk about how much I hate sailing. And if if for one thing, I can say that Sea of Thieves is really realistic in that it's so boring that I really want to sail in real life because actually, never mind. It's just the same thing. So you know.
Yep. I'll put a positive spin on this. We got exactly, well, probably exactly what we were expecting and wanting out of the game.
Yeah, that
More
is
so
true.
expecting than wanting.
But yeah, otherwise, Game Pass has helped us to start PvPing. At least that's
Oh
something.
yes. Like I'm very glad Game Pass exists. I've kind of ignored it up until the point where you brought it up to me and it was only $1 at the time because they were doing their 1 month sale.
It's still $1. You can
Is
buy
it gonna be $1 for the next month as well?
no.
So what do you mean it's still $1?
If anybody subscribes this month, I'm not sure if
Oh, I gotcha.
yeah.
I don't.
Um,
Will it still be this month by the time this episode goes up, though?
let me check. It is.
All right. So yeah, people out there listening to us, it's still $1 at the time of this recording, and hopefully the time of this release. So yay!
Yeah.
But yeah,
As for
I,
Game Pass, you just reminded me with the $1 thing. It's actually getting changed a bit. So now you won't be able to buy 1 month intervals. You can only buy 3 months or a year. 3 months is $30, a year is 60.
uh, that that's not bad. I kind of like the month to month subscription better because I enjoy having that freedom. I don't want to be locked into like a contract basically
Yeah,
of you get the game pass for these 3 months here or this year here, but I might not want to have it for those 3 months and or a year. So, you know, that's just me. I prefer the month to month kind of subscriptions, but I don't think it's terrible that they're doing 3 months or 1 year subscriptions.
yeah. The only negative with this is that I don't think that they're gonna have 1 month, 1 month as an option, and it should be because it's an option with gold.
Yeah. So I would hope that they keep the 1 month subscription in because I know. Well, I can't say that I know, quote unquote, but I I feel like a lot of people too would prefer the 1 month subscription because not everyone's going to want to commit to 3 months or a year, especially this earlier in their Game Pass phase when it was just created like this year, last year maybe. Honestly, don't know how long Game Pass has been going on, but yeah.
Yeah, another thing with the Game Pass is that it's 21 or so games are getting removed from it. Let me find the list because I have it
Yeah,
somewhere.
and I think the 21 games you posted were all games that we were wanting to play together, which kind of sucks in itself.
Yeah. So let me find the list. I found the list. So these are the games that are leaving this month. Age of Booty, nobody cares, I don't think. At least
I
we
would have
don't.
cared if it were actual booty.
It's actually, you downloaded it and it's actually just a Lil Jon video.
Yeah,
Sega Vintage Collection, Alex Kidd and Co. Does any of us care about Alex Kidd? Alex the Kid, I mean.
I don't even know who that is.
I think he was Sega's
You don't have
mask.
to tell me. You don't have to tell me. I
He
don't care.
he was the mascot of Sega before Sonic, I think.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Then so it's getting Bionic Commando Rearmed 2 is getting removed. Good. Blood Bowl 2 is getting
Yeah,
removed.
I gotta sneeze. Thank
Bless you.
you very much.
So yeah, Blood Bowl 2 is getting removed. We wanted to record Blood Bowl. I'm not sure how we'll be able to do this now. Borderlands is getting removed. Eh. I mean, we tried.
Hasta la vista.
Yeah.
I won't miss it.
Bound by Flame is getting removed. No idea. Deep Love 2 is getting removed. Once again. Dead Rising 2 Case Zero is getting removed and my freaking voice. So yeah, Dead Rising 2 Case Zero is getting removed. I'm not sure how we feel about that.
Yeah. I think I played Dead Rising 1 a little bit back in the day, but then I started going to college and I basically stopped playing games at that point, except for Fallout New Vegas.
I just dislike zombie games as a
Oh,
genre.
yeah.
So
I wasn't really active in the gaming community when everything was about zombies, so I don't have that.
be thankful.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have to endure all that, so I don't have as much of a problem with it.
Then we have Defense Grid 2. I think it's a tower defense game. I think. Dig Dug is getting removed.
Like Dig Dug is released on everything though, so you don't have a problem there. You probably have a DS somewhere with that installed on it.
I sold my DS to buy Assassin's Creed Origins. I don't regret it actually.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either.
Yeah. Final Fight Double Impact is getting removed, so we need to get those videos out with WR really fast.
Yep.
Second Vintage Collection, Golden Axe is getting removed. Do you care about Golden Axe?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a fantasy beat 'em up.
I probably wouldn't care what that is.
Neo Geo Battle Colosseum is getting removed.
I downloaded that, and then when I told you that, you said you had uninstalled it. So that's kind of just sitting in my game collection right
Should
now.
I re-download it so we can do a PvP and then
Yeah,
delete it?
maybe a real quick one. Then we can send it off.
Yeah. So there's that. Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising is getting removed. I got that game for free with gold. What can I say? It's a tactical game. At the very least.
At the very least.
Yeah. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus is getting removed. It's a fun game, so whatever, I guess. I mean, there's not much we can do about it.
Yeah.
Sacred 3 is getting removed. But Redance. just do all of the sacred games.
Huh.
Soul Calibur is getting removed. Oh well, it didn't have online, so we couldn't do a
Yeah,
PvP.
I would have no use for Soul Calibur if it doesn't have online because I've already got Soul Calibur 2, and that's really all I need.
XCOM is getting removed, so there's that. And also
There's a
all
100% chance of that being removed.
yeah, I like us catching the ball.
You got a 67% chance of picking it up and a 100% chance of dropping it on your head.
Got a 50% chance of winning.
Maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, and so are all of the Bioshocks getting removed. I just finished Bioshock Infinite. Like
Yeah,
a day before it was announced that it's getting removed.
yeah, I was just a little bit disappointed to see that because I had wanted to try out BioShock because I always heard good things about the first BioShock. Didn't even know a second one came out, and then I heard at the time of release that BioShock Infinite was disappointing, or at least amongst the circle of friends that I knew.
Well,
So,
as somebody who hasn't played a Bioshock game aside from Infinite, well, I tried playing the first two, but here's the thing: Bioshock has its controls, and every other FPS has its controls. And I can get used to Bioshock's controls because it has you enter aiming mode by pressing in the right thumbstick.
yeah, that sounds a little weird straight off the bat.
So yeah, and then you have a secondary, like you have magic, which you do by pressing the left trigger, and then you shoot with the right trigger. And holding RB changes weapons, I think, and holding LB changes your magic or something like that. I might be mixing it up. The good thing with Bioshock Infinite is that they have a marksman control scheme, which is just every other game's control scheme, so I could actually play through it. The first two games lack this, so to actually be able to play through the first two games, I'll need to buy the Bioshock collection which came out, which is like $20, I think. Actually 30, but whatever, around there. I need to buy that because I'm hoping that at least they give the option, considering that they were remade or something. They give
Yeah,
the option for the marksman control scheme in the original or were the first two. Yeah, aside from these, what else is going on with Game Pass? I can just check our games lists quick. We still have to do Farming Simulator. We still have to do Injustice. We still have to do Resident Evil Revelations 2. And Terraria is up in the air.
yeah. I'd still like to do a Terraria recording because I think once we get Alex in there and we're just goofing around, we can make some good content out of that. But
Also, Dead Rising 3 will W and I will have to play that sometime. That's also a Game Pass
yeah,
game.
yep. The Terraria controls seem kind of off because it was like originally a PC game, and I can understand that it would be a far superior experience on a computer because of the mouse controls.
Or you can just spend like a
As,
hundred
as
bucks
much
to
as I
buy a
despise mouse
keyboard
and
and
keyboard.
mouse thing.
What's that?
Or you can just spend like $100 to buy a converter, a keyboard and mouse converter.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to. I'm not going to use that ever.
You cut out, by the way.
I said I wouldn't buy a converter for a keyboard and mouse for my Xbox because there's no reason for me to do it for a game that we're probably going to play once and never touch again because then I would never use the converter ever again because I'd have no reason to.
You can just cheat in Siege.
Yeah,
That's what most
yeah.
people use it
I'll
for.
cheat in Siege like all the pros do. I mean, no, not like that because I didn't say that. I didn't
Yeah.
accuse anyone of cheating. Trust me. But yeah. Yeah, I've always heard things like in Overwatch that people were getting an edge on console players by hooking up their like keyboards and mouse for those superior aiming skills. Like personally, I don't care one way or another. It's like if you need a keyboard and mouse to play on a console, I'm not sure what that says about your skill level because
Yeah.
you might be beating console players using your controls, but it's like those controls aren't the default controls. So in reality, you're actually kind of bad at the game because you need that edge to be any good at it.
So yeah, what else is with Game Pass? That's about it really. I mean, we'll have Street Fighter and Tekken to record thanks to Game Pass.
Yep.
By the way, do you think it's a good idea to buy Ultra Street Fighter for that?
Were it ever to be taken off of Game Pass, Ultra Super Turbo Fighter Streets of the Fourth Amendment, whatever. It's something I would actually wouldn't mind looking into picking up because I actually enjoy playing with you guys, and I think we've had fun with it. But for most fighting games, I would say no. I'm not into fighting games. I've never really enjoyed fighting games all that much. It's like I played Soul Calibur a lot as a little kid. I really enjoyed that, but everything else just never interested me. I can't say I get much enjoyment out of them, but I enjoy playing with you guys. So that is something I would look into getting, but it'd probably only be Ultra Street Fighter and not like anything else.
I mean, depending on your preferences, you might like Tekken more because
That is true. But there's also the preference of which girls look prettier.
right. You do know that in Tekken you can just take the characters and put them in bikinis, by the way.
I had no idea, but now I like Tekken infinitely better.
Yeah. So like I think I actually disliked in Tekken Tech 2 is that you have all of these female characters and they have this many costumes and then like a third of them are things like sexy devil costume, sexy Santa costume, freaking fetish gear.
See, now that you're telling me this, Tekken sounds like it's straight up my alley.
We'll see. I mean, Tekken really is just like Soul Calibur only without swords and slightly more um what's the word I'm looking for? Bloody slightly more advanced, I guess, because I don't remember the word I'm looking for. Input scheme. In that you don't have block as a button, you just have two kicks and backwards is block.
uh yeah. Like one of my problems that's a me problem and not a fighting game problem is that I can never get inputs correctly or fast enough. Like you were trying to teach me how to do like the super combos or whatever the other day, and I'm like, there's just no way I can mash these buttons fast enough to get it to connect every single time or really any time that I need it to because I've always been too methodical and meticulous, so I'm very much a thinking gamer. I'm not a cowboy. I can't just whip stuff out of thin air. I'm not an action man. I have to think things through, which is why fighting games have never really caught on with me because that's all basic instinct and lots of speed involved. It's like I can beat anyone in Fire Emblem, but I could not beat a toddler in a fighting game.
Yeah, the thing with Tekken is that um when it's inputs, it's pretty loose. So even if you don't know what you're doing, you can pull out combos that are actually pretty hard to pull off normally. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
It's like
that
I need an idiot button installed on my controls.
Tekken is Tekken basically all of Tekken's buttons are idiot buttons.
It's foolproof. Even Puff could play it.
Yeah. I mean, back in Tekken 5, you had the Capoeira people for whom you'd only need to press two buttons to win. The two kicks.
Oh, Dance to Victory.
Yeah, by Tech 2, which is the one that you have downloaded, they were nerfed quite a bit because people didn't like that they were so overpowered. So now they need to actually somewhat think about what they're doing, but they're still pretty easy to learn.
Oh, that's nice.
The Caprero characters are basically the Maxis.
Yeah. Maxie was always like the best starter character in Soul Calibur, and then once you figured out what you're doing and you tried to do anything with him, you just couldn't.
Yeah. Um, as for another thing with Tekken, super moves are not really a thing in Tekken. Well, super moves weren't a thing in Tekken. Now with 7, they are because they have a Kuma, and if I need to pre-order every Tekken that will come out in the next I don't know how many years just to have a Kuma in all of them, I would. Just because I prefer Tekken's thing, the 3D movement and all that, to Street Fighters, and how they imported Akuma from or Akuma, freaking switching my pronunciations from English to Hungarian. But yeah, how they imported Akuma into Tekken 7 is pretty good because he's basically just Tekken 4 or Tekken 4, Street Fighter 4 Akuma, only in a 3D plane and with a couple of more moves.
Hmm. Nifty.
Yeah, the same for Geese. Though for Geese you actually need to pay money, and Akuma is there in the game vanilla.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've discussed Game Pass enough on this point.
Probably. I don't think there's too much else for us to say. It's like closing thoughts. I've enjoyed it so far. I've enjoyed being able to play multiple games with you guys without having to go to GameStop and searching through their shelves. And competitive Bomberman is no joke. So all you people out there saying it is, yeah, screw you.
But did you enjoy being able? Bloody.
Abel,
Yeah.
Abel, I hate his nose. It looks stupid, and I don't like his face. It also looks stupid. And no, I can't say I enjoyed it playing Abel at all.
I think that's all before what we did next week. So let's just move on to that. What did you do this week? I I
All
like
right.
I like how I said what did we do next week? Yeah, what did we do next week?
What did we do next week? I've forgotten already. All right. I guess I'll kick things off. So this week, as we briefly discussed earlier, Alex, me, and Addie here all got together and did some recordings for some stuff with Game Pass, and we did some Game Pass stuff without recording it. It's like, I don't know why. It's like, maybe because he just wanted to have fun or something. But that was pretty fun. We all got together and played a lot of fighting games, which was a big change for me because, as I said previously, I've never been into fighting games. Like, they were never my cup of tea, but been a lot of fun getting my ass beaten repeatedly and somehow being able to beat Alex and Addie despite not being any good. So that shows how terrible those two are. My goodness, they're just awful, man. Then, what else did we do? We did some Saints Row. That was pretty fun. It was Saints Row 4, the one where you get to have all the powers in the universe. And one thing I don't like about that game, which is a big reason why I never actually completed it, is that it's so friggin' dark. And I don't mean story wise, I mean the city. It's just this near pitch black color and nothing looks good. And I think that's in this.
Once you complete the game, I think you have an option to make it daylight.
Yeah, but once you've completed the game, I don't see any point in returning to it ever again.
There's the DLC missions, and you can redo the
There
story
are, but
missions.
I wouldn't want to buy the DLC though.
You already have it. You have the enhanced version that came with the DLC.
I do?
You do. The one on the 360 didn't have the DLC. The one on the Xbox One does. It came with the game.
Oh. Well then, I'm all set. Let me go turn the lights on and complete all the DLC. Yeah. Like Saints Row, it's just nonsense. It's fun in the short bursts, but it's not something I like turn to play daily. It's like if I get the feeling, I'll go and do some shenanigans. But like after that first initial couple of hours when you first get the game, it starts to wear off on you. And being a GTA clone and having powers, it kind of negates everything else about being a GTA clone. So it's like a very interesting game. I don't agree with a lot of the things they did with it, and it's like that's probably why there is no Saints Row 5 because I don't
There's
think the fourth was all that good.
there's no Saints Row
There was
5
that.
because in Get Out of Hell they blew up, or not. In Get Out of Hell they concluded the story, and in this game they blew up the Earth. So that's why there's no Saints Row 5.
The Earth already blows up in Saints Row 4, though, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what happens to Get Out of Hell then?
They just conclude everything with Get being dead or something. I don't know. It's in Game Pass. If you really care, you
I
can play through
gotcha.
it.
Yeah, I'm not interested in the
Me
story. No,
neither.
thank you. Like, what else was I saying? Yeah, we did Payday a couple weeks back, or a couple weeks maybe. I don't remember how long ago it was. Like, I enjoy that. I'm not a big fan of the gun system or the aiming system, whatever you want to call it, in that game. It seems kind of fast and very
Furious.
unwieldy. Yeah, Fast and Furious. That sounds like a good movie. Except it wouldn't be a good movie because those movies are terrible. But yeah, gunplay is a little too fast and unwieldy for my liking. I'd like something a little tighter and smoother. But it's a pretty fun game regardless. If you've got friends to play with, it's like I would never like purchase it to play on my own because that's not a game you play on your own. You need to have people there with you to do it. Because otherwise, it probably wouldn't be much fun, and it wouldn't have any longevity to it.
Yeah, I wanted to play on my own because lately we've just been trying to get through our backlog of games we need to record, and
Yeah,
for one it didn't happen. For two, I'm at the point in the game where I need to do mayhem and up level missions alone, and that ain't happening.
yeah, probably not. That sounds like a terrible time.
Yeah, because otherwise we could do it together, but then either we're recording stuff together or we're not doing anything together. So
Yep, good point. Let's see. Me and you did Blood Bowl 2 for a little while. It's like I didn't know what to expect when I was going into the game because I have never heard of Blood Bowl 2 and I've never seen anything regarding like footage of it. And then when I got into the game, I realized I had never seen any game like it ever. It's very different from anything I've ever played, and I find it very strange how it's like a sports game, but it's a turn-based, almost strategy game. It's very confusing at first. Had a lot of fun with it though, because I like the complete nonsense of it all and how we drop balls when we have a 67% chance of picking it up. Because yeah, like all football players basically have a 67% chance of picking up a ball. It's like very interesting game design overall, I would say. Seemed pretty fun.
a bit too chance
Pro-
based, maybe.
Yeah. It's like I don't know what's up with the like statistics in that game, but pretty crazy. We also played Bomberman and you know, like we were tempted to go into ranked, but we don't know how good we are yet, and we're kind of scared of the other pro players in that Bomberman league. Like they might be really good, and we're kind of newbies. And it's like competitive Bomberman is no joke. It's like, and we don't want to get thrown into the deep end with no experience. So it's like me and Addie are kind of practicing up, and hopefully we'll be able to like get better in the future, so we can go pro
And we can
and
blow
go all the
ourselves
way.
up with even more bombs.
Yes. pro tip for all you kids out there: the more fire you add to the bomb, the more like columns of fire the bomb will shoot out, and that's exactly what you want in this kind of game. Because then you can walk into the corner and drop the bomb and trap yourself forever, and you've got no hope of escape.
And you can pick up bombs, by the way. It's a thing that can happen.
Yeah, but I always forget when I start panicking because I pressed the wrong button or because I pressed the button and moved at the wrong time and it didn't drop the bomb where I wanted it to. Because, competitive Bomberman, it's like serious business. Yeah. It's like kill yourself for those first 2 rounds, but then resurrect yourself for the last 3
Yeah.
golden because you've already won at that point because the opposition, they just have no idea what to do. It's like, oh crap, this guy just killed himself. What did I do? And then they kind of kill themselves out of like respect for you killing yourself. But then you come back and it's like, oh, what a swerve! It's like, and then you win. That's how you win Pro Bomberman. Okay. And the finalish thing that we played this week, I'm probably not. I want to talk a little. No, yeah, I'll talk a little bit about our Sea of Thieves recording a bit later on, but I want to discuss Borderlands first. We got together the other day when me and Addie were both sick, terribly sick,
Well,
like
I still
on the brink of
am,
death.
but
Yeah, so am I. I've still got a little bit of cold here, but thankfully I've got my voice back. Which a couple days ago, when we were playing Street Fighter, and I believe we recorded it, and if those videos go up, you'll hear how bad my voice was. But while we were playing Street Fighter, I was doing a lot of shouting, and it was not for my own good, and I completely blew my voice out. So for the next day, like a whole 24 hours, my throat was just not working properly, and I sounded absolutely terrible. So then we moved on to Borderlands. And boy, oh boy, do I love me some Borderlands. I need to go through a very brief history lesson here. I got Borderlands 1 at Christmas several years back, like 2009 or 10 or something like that. Maybe even later, 2011, I think it was, or 12. I honestly have no idea. But I got that for the PlayStation 3. I began to play it, and straight off the bat, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the art style. I didn't like the guns. I didn't like the characters. I hated the aiming. The aiming has always felt off to me. Like, I didn't really like anything about it. And I got maybe halfway through the tutorial thingy when I just decided to take it out and play a better game. It's like, I never made it out of Firestone or whatever. And I don't think I ever beat, like, the first boss type enemy you encounter. It's like, that's how much I didn't like the game. Fast forward a couple more years, like 1 or 2 maybe, and I got Borderlands 2 for Christmas. It's like, somehow I got both Borderlands for Christmas. Didn't ask for it, but that's what I got. And that's on me. And it's not a problem. I don't blame anyone or anything. But I tried Borderlands 2, and I think I like the characters better than the first one. I don't remember, because I don't even remember any characters now, because it's been so long. But I played through Borderlands 2 with my brother, and I think we got a decent bit through the tutorial or the first couple of missions. We probably definitely got past the tutorial. But at some point in the game, I just could not read the map. I had no idea where to go, and I just quit out of pure frustration because I didn't really like anything about the game. I couldn't figure out where to go next, and I just didn't want to play it anymore. So I took it out, put it in its box, and I have not touched either of those games since.
well, technically you have, but
Technically, I have because now we have to fast forward to yesterday. No, not yesterday. a couple days ago when we played Borderlands all together for the first time ever. I still hate Borderlands. I do not find it to be incredibly fun or incredibly engaging. I find it to be just a laborious chore of a game. There's no redeeming qualities to it whatsoever that I have found yet. I enjoyed playing with you and Alex. I tried to provide good commentary despite the fact that my voice was failing and I was coughing my lungs out. Despite basically being dead. And I tried as hard as I possibly could, but like by the end, I was just thankful that we were turning off Borderlands because I did not enjoy it whatsoever. It's like you guys are fun, which in turn made the game funner than it should have been, but it was still the terrible mess of a game that I remembered it to be. And we did not make it out of Firestone once again.
Yeah, there was also the thing where Alex and I were arguing continuously through all of those 2 hours.
Yeah, but I don't know. I found you guys entertaining. I don't mind you two arguing. Maybe Alex might get a little frustrated with you sometimes, but we're all on good terms here.
Yeah, that's mainly because I live on his anger.
Like
But yeah,
you just live to tip Alex over the edge because without Alex raging on all of us, it's like what would we be? So it's like I think we managed to turn a very terrible game in Borderlands into a very fun time.
a
Brief
very a
as it
very
was,
mediocre game.
yeah, mediocre at best. Like, I don't like Borderlands. Never have, never will. And
Sea of Thieves,
yeah,
I think you wanted to talk
Sea
about.
of Thieves. We set into Sea of Thieves with the intent of recording like maybe an hour or so of content, maybe. Just because it was with Game Pass and it was, $1 to get the Game Pass and Sea of Thieves, like all the rage with the kids and Microsoft and whatnot, because Microsoft loves it, so we should love it too. So we set out to play that, and right off the bat, we were encountering problems, if I recall correctly. We had troubles with invites, if I recall correctly. We wanted to take a small boat, but a small boat could only hold 2 people, so we had to upgrade to a bigger boat, which had a mandatory 4 people. So it was me, Alex, Addy, and some random other guys that would join in during the recording session.
Some other random
And
guy
we
who
would
that would
all,
join the brig.
yeah, we would all vote to put them in the brig because we just didn't want anybody. It's like, how do you release a game and not enable it so that you can have party members only on your ship? It's like, seems like a pretty bad rookie mistake to make so early on in the game's life cycle. It's like that should have been one of the first things you were looking at when you were making this social pirate game. So this is one of those times where again we made a very mediocre game into a very enjoyable experience. It wasn't completely terrible. I thought our start was hilarious because it took us 10 minutes to find a boat that had been, I
Stolen.
wanted to say abductive, but it was not abducted because that's not the right word. That was stolen by our rando teammate who set sail without us. And I thought all of our beginnings was complete gold. It was hilarious to me. And as we progressed, it's like this isn't a completely terrible game because it's a very fun time with your friends. It just wasn't a fun enough time for me to say, "Hey, I'm going to go out and buy Sea of Thieves because I really want to play that." It's like, no, I enjoyed playing it with you guys that one time. I'm never going to touch it again because I've already uninstalled it. I uninstalled it the second we stopped recording it.
I
Like,
actually uninstalled it on recording, so if I do do a director's cut, that's gonna be in.
that's awesome. Yeah, I thought we had a lot of great moments in there. The I just don't understand what they were thinking with that game. It's like it's not really a pirate game. You don't ever get to feel like pirates. You don't get to raid any ships. You spend your days floating from island to island trying to collect chickens. And if you like progress through the game more than that, you probably get to collect something else, but I wouldn't know
It
because
is.
we didn't
It's
get very
just.
far.
It's just chicken, bananas, and pigs. I think.
Yeah, you're basically it's Sea of Merchants.
No, that was because we took up a merchant voyage.
Were there any other types of wages though?
There's skeleton killing voyages and there's treasure finding voyages. I think.
So yeah, the treasure finding voyages are the only things that sound piratey at all in that. It's like it's basically is Skyrim but worse. Like
So Skyrim.
it's yeah, Skyrim basically exactly because you're just getting sent from location to location to retrieve items and take them back from location to location, which it did not have any longevity to it. It was not going to be a good time for any longer than like the 4 hours that we played.
Yeah, and even then it was boring.
Yep. It's like there were definitely times where I could see, oh, this is getting kind of boring. We better do something to make it not boring. It's like we had to put poor Alex on an island for like an hour just so that chickens would not despawn.
And I
It's like,
was and I was drunk through all of that.
yes. It's like you were constantly getting drunk off your ass because you were just trying to find a way to relieve yourself from the pain of having to play that game.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have any you didn't have any beer in the real world, so you had to improvise.
I mean, what else is there to do? Like, you can make music that nobody else hears, or at least none of us
Yep.
heard. Like, I heard you two and the other people making music, but you never heard when I made music. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you can fulfill your roles if there is any need, but that's like something you need to do every 15 minutes. So,
Yeah.
and then you can just drink. And what are you gonna do?
Yep. It's like for those first few minutes when you're setting sail, it's kind of a fun game, but once you get on out on the sea, it becomes very chore-like. And like I said, absolutely no longevity. You are not going to be buying Sea of Thieves and expecting a lot out of it if you're foolish enough to buy Sea of Thieves at all.
So what we're saying
It's
is that Sea of Thieves is a realistic sailing experience.
oh yes, absolutely. With less seasickness, but I'm okay with that for the most part, unless you get drunk, in which and you do throw up everywhere like Addy here. But yeah, Sea of Thieves, I feel like it has a decent enough foundation that they could build it into something actually good, but I don't think they're going to because they've already released the thing. Microsoft already has like these little stupid trailers for it. They're already hyping it up as their big exclusive Xbox exclusive, Microsoft exclusive, whatever. It is
Exclusive,
their
exclusive. But yeah,
yes, it is kind of their pet project right now. That doesn't that isn't even a project because it's the full game as it is right now.
yeah, the thing is that Rare made it, and Rare is supposed to be big because of Banjo Kazooie and Conquer. And the thing is, like, I don't really see Rare's worth because, um, here's the deal. I don't like collectathons.
Yeah,
What was Rare's cream of the crop? Collectathons. So, like I don't like 3D platformers and collectathons. Collect is a 3D
yeah,
platformer and collectathon. Banjo Kazooie is a 3D platformer and collectathon. Donkey Kong 64 is a 3D platformer and collectathon. So,
yep. It's that they've just kind of failed to evolve with the times, and they're making a game that a decade ago it would have been spectacular. It's like 2008, and you can go out on the sea with all your online friends. That sounds like a good time. Maybe I don't know. I wasn't online in 2008, but I can assume as
2008
much.
was, I don't remember. Mirror's Edge came out a year before it, but that wasn't really online focused. So
Yeah, like 2008 online stuff was probably just becoming a thing. You know, when did Call of Duty start coming out? I don't know.
1995. Let me
Well,
look it
yeah,
up.
but the big online things. When did that start to pick up or blow up?
I'll look it up 1 second.
All right, yeah, but it's like Sea of Thieves would have been a all right game like a decade ago, but now, as it is, it's a decent foundation for something better, and they're not going to make something better. So, if they surprise me and in 2 years or so we get a good Sea of Thieves game and they update everything and they make it not suck, then yeah, I'll happily
Well, hello
retread.
there. You missed the
Ah,
podcast.
what the fuck?
Hey there.
We're still
I
recording.
You're still recording. Okay, so what did I miss?
90% of every topic.
I don't think you've really missed anything important though. Not the big things that we were saving for you.
Yeah, we saved the important things for you.
How many hours of footage did I miss?
1 hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's just our intro.
Pick to
I
answer your
opened Discord.
yeah. Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
opened Discord. Should I shut it? Is Addy already recording?
Yeah, Addy's recording. Or
Yeah.
at least he should be.
I am
hope he
recording.
is.
I am
Otherwise
recording.
this is open for nothing. And I've been talking to no one.
Okay, I'm closing Discord then. All right. I opened. Well, not Discord.
OBS.
I'm closing OBS. Yeah. I opened
I kind of
Discord.
figured you weren't going to close Discord because then you'd stop talking to us.
Yeah. I opened Discord here to see Gil in a Speedo. So what's going on there?
Oh, I just showed Pink how Gil looks.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was also explaining some lore and trivia from fighting games that I don't care about.
Yeah. It's rough bringing Pink in for Street Fighter and KOF because KOF is it's rough bringing Pink in for KOF, especially because KOF was a thing we did once and we're never going to do again. Whereas Street Fighter, we're probably going to try and keep Street Fighter as something of a longer running series, but it's still a series that Pink has had no real interest in for forever.
Yeah. Like King of Fighters really missed the boat because, if they had a lobby system where it was like the Street Fighter King of the Hill that we were doing, it'd be all right. But since it doesn't let us spectate together or, play together with more than two people, it's kind of a fail on their part and they're missing out.
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't get
totally.
our spectacular commentary.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the other big thing of why we don't play KOF as much as Street Fighter is because you and I comparatively are not very good. KOF has much more of an obvious scale in terms of Addy is the best, I'm okay, and you have no capability because you have no experience.
Yeah.
Whereas Street Fighter, we're all roughly on the same level.
Yeah, the thing with KOF is that, as I've said, I've basically grown up on SNK's arcade games, even though they're like arcades were shut off like 15 years before I was born.
Yeah, which that's a whole thing because Street Fighter is very popular in the States and in Japan. To my understanding, KOF is popular everywhere else. Eastern Europe and Eastern Asia outside of Japan really love KOF. And I think South America really loves KOF. But in America, KOF is very much a kind of niche series. Like, KOF is the kind of series that you only play if you're really into fighting games.
I don't know why. My fighting game of choice was always Samurai Showdown for SNK because Samurai, yeah.
Samurai Showdown isn't popular anywheres.
Yeah, I know it's that series. Doesn't make me less. Doesn't make me like it any less. I mean,
well, you can be happy with the fact that you're still getting Nakaruru in every other game.
I hate Nakaru so much. I wish she would die.
Of all the Samurai Showdown characters, she's the one that gets to be in every SNK game.
Yeah, like it's not Genjiro, it's not freaking Homaru, it's not even what was the guy? Kazuki. I'm just listing my mains at this point.
Admittedly, did you like the big fat bearded guy from Samurai Showdown? Because he's pretty much Chang anyways.
No.
Okay, so get fucked.
Yeah. Actually, like the thing with the SNK Samurai games is that I always mix them up, and I mean that as in their characters appeared in so much Mugen that I downloaded that I didn't know where Samurai Showdown ended and where the Last Blade began. So I just grown accustomed to maining Genjiro and Moria together. That's why I did that combo in Neo Geo so
Yeah,
much.
KOF was also Mugen was also my intro to the KOF. Cause like otherwise, like getting into KOF as someone who wouldn't know is a outright pain in the ass. Because really, the only way to get into KOF now is there's KOF 14 for PS4, which is like $60, and there's the classic KOFs on Steam, but they are fucking old.
There's also
So
the classic
it's kind
KOFs are also on Xbox now with ACA's thing. It's up
Right,
to
but do they have-
98.
up to 98. Okay, Steam has 2002 actually. And the weird thing is none of them have ported over 11, which is strange because 11 is supposed to be one of the best ones. I actually got 11
Actually,
on PS2.
Xbox kind of has 2002 as well because it was available on the 360 and 2002 Ultimate mode or whatever the UM stands for is backwards compatible.
Oh, all right. Huh. But I assume I didn't miss out on too much of the Infinity War talk.
We haven't even
No,
started.
we saved that for all three of us.
Okay, I want to go ahead and mention two things. First of all, I want A to explain to me what's the difference between Orochi and Mizuchi, because I noticed you kept calling Orochi Mizuchi while we were playing SNK Battle Coliseum, and it was confusing me.
That's because he is Mizuchi. So, you know how there's Orochi in KOF 2000 or whatever.
98.
He was 98.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was 98.
well then.
2002 does have Chris, but it doesn't have Chris's Orochi form.
So yeah, Mizuchi is an Orochi clone, and he's much stronger than actual Orochi.
Wasn't Orochi already one of the most broken characters in KOF?
Mizuchi just spams his lightning attack, the one where he just like has bars on the screen and it damages you. You only have like I don't know, like 2 or 3 steps between them where you won't get hit.
Okay, right. I remember hearing about that a lot.
And things like that. Yeah, that's why I wanted you to not delete the game just yet, so you can go through the story and face Mizuchi for yourself.
No, I think I'll pass. I could not give a shit less about any of the Neo Geo fucking games,
But yeah,
Roto games that they made.
Yeah, the thing with Mizuchi is that the only way I could beat him was A, on the easiest difficulty, B, with him only having a quarter of his health, because he regenerates, by the way, and C, with a super that goes through projectiles. And that's the only way I could beat him, and I needed to sacrifice, like, 1.5 characters, so I could even get there.
But the other thing I wanted to mention, it was just noticing on the way back home. Is it just me? Like, Pink, you lived on the East Coast for a little bit, right?
For a lot of it.
Okay. What the fuck is... I don't know if it's just an East Coast thing, but I've noticed it in the last couple of years. Why is it, out of all the Queen songs, the one the radio fucking loves is Fat Bottom Girls?
I actually didn't hear that one all that much in South Carolina. It was always which one was it? It might have just been Another One Bites the Dust. I think that was the one that got the most radio play.
when I was back in Indiana, I remember there being a fair bit of Another One Bites the Dust. But out here in North Carolina, like there's the occasional Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's almost entirely fat bottom girls, and I can't figure it out.
But yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody played a lot, but I honestly don't like that song. It's like the one Queen song that I cannot stand and changes the station every time I hear it. Like it's supposedly their best, but I cannot stand it.
Bohemian Rhapsody is a strange song in that it goes through so many stages. Like you end up liking some stages and not caring for others. Like,
That's why I have to change it fast before I start enjoying it.
I fucking love the guitar solo of Bohemian Rhapsody. Brian May fucking cuts it up. But, I mean, the rest of it is okay, but not amazing. Like, it's actually a song. It's actually a song where once it gets past the halfway point, it's like, thank God.
Yeah, I only like the guitar of Bohemian Rhapsody as well. I also don't like the lyrics. Not sure
I
why.
like that it I like that it tries to tell a story because that's
Yeah,
unique.
I
in,
like that
music.
that it tries to tell a story. I'm just not sure I like the story itself.
Yeah.
It does. Freddie puts a lot of emotion to it, but at the same time, like it's obviously the kind of story that Freddie wouldn't have much experience in, so it's not. He's trying to put heart into it, but he hasn't genuinely got it. You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think with Queen is that I'm not sure how much it was shown over there, but over here they had like I don't know what it was, but they had a concert over here and Freddie Mercury actually sang one of our national like songs in Hungarian.
Oh wow, that sounds interesting. Actually, I did not know about
Yeah,
that.
he had the lyrics written on his hand and he read it on a cappella, I think.
That sounds like something you do. Yeah, that it's kind of he's kind of a curious figure. It's surprising that they still haven't managed to make a biopic of him yet. They're still like because they've been going over it for the last 10 fucking years with that dipshit comedian. What's his face? Sasha Baron Cohen.
No idea.
The guy who played Bruno, the guy who voiced the King Lemur in Madagascar. Fuck. I think it's Sasha Baron Cohen, but my brain's telling me it's not. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I hate to have missed out on the fighting game talk, but if you guys have already gone over an hour and a half of it, then it's probably over. So we can go ahead and move on to the Infinity War talk.
By the way, here's the Queen thing. I think this is it.
Huh.
It was in 86.
Yeah, it looks like a later Queen with Freddie having the mustache and the short hair. Anyways, let's get around to talking about Infinity War because that's a topic that all three of us can actually talk about. Because Addy, you literally just watched it before recording, right?
No, I watched it hours before.
Oh, fuck. Well, anyways, so you have watched 0 MCU films before Infinity War, correct?
Watched Iron Man 1 and 2. That's it.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to ask, how confused are you on a scale of 0 to 10?
I'm more confused about. Can we talk about spoilers?
This is okay. Let's just go ahead and say this: Infinity War spoilers from here on out throughout the podcast.
All right.
If you have not seen Infinity War at this point, that is your own fault, and you need to go correct that mistake immediately. Or
Also,
you just need to press through this podcast and suck it up.
Yeah, or just stop watching until you've watched Infinity War, for fuck's sake.
But yeah,
Come back later.
so I was more confused about the deaths than I was.
Oh my. Which deaths? Do you mean the okay, hang on. Yeah, do you mean the deaths throughout most of the film or the deaths in the ending?
I'm confused about who died. It's specifically two people.
Okay, yeah. This is a 40-person cast, so you being confused about several of the characters, I don't blame you.
Yeah, so really the only like I figured out most of the people because I know how Loki looks even though I've never watched any of the Avengers movies because you don't escape Avengers.
It's a good thing you figured out Loki of all characters because he's totally there throughout most of the movie.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
it's Loki. Oh shit, Loki's dead.
yeah. I don't know who died aside from Loki on the ship because I know that there was a guy who magicked Hawk back to Earth.
That's Heimdall. That's
Yeah,
Idris Elba.
I didn't know them, but I knew Thor. I couldn't recognize Thor, but when Thanos said that it was Loki's brother, I just kind of put two and two together.
Yeah,
Um,
Thor's a little bit harder to recognize without the signature long hair.
yeah. Um, but yeah, as for the two deaths, I was really confused about. Like, aren't there supposed to be a Black Panther and 2 and Spider-Man 2 coming out? Like,
Yes, there are, and that's the number one issue I have with the movie.
yeah, that was my
I
issue as
don't pick
well.
the dust deaths at the end are too obvious in terms of it's going to be undone.
Yeah,
It would
but
have been
Yeah.
more impactful. It would have been more impactful if they had not killed off Spider-Man, Panther, and Doctor Strange and replaced them with somebody else. Because we know that Spider-Man, Panther, and Strange are not dying here.
yeah, the thing with all of that, I went with my father. He watches more movies than I do, but he's not really keeping up with the whole who goes where. So when I showed him the trailer, he asked where Batman was.
Ah,
So
those people are the worst.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty much any time superhero talk comes up with my dad. So
yeah, aside from that, I mean,
and the
It
thing is,
grates upon my nerves when I sit in the theater and listen to people talking and not understanding that there are two different comic book companies with two separate universes with two entirely different casts, and they're asking why Batman isn't appearing in the Avengers
I don't
or why
understand.
Spider-Man wasn't in Justice League.
I don't understand. Why doesn't Superman just beat up Thanos?
the
It is the worst
the thing
feeling.
is that when, like, just before the movie started, there was a Deadpool 2 trailer, and
Oh man, the fact that the Fox universe is off on its own as well makes it even worse.
Yeah,
'Cause it's one of those things where it's really difficult to explain to your family. Like, okay, they're separate in the movies, but they're not supposed to be. In the comics, they're one and the same, but in the movies, they're separate.
yeah.
but yeah, so there was a Deadpool trailer, and in that he referenced DC, and so
Yeah.
here's the thing,
Oh my,
when
oh my god.
when
That Deadpool
Thanos
2 trailer is so bad.
when Thanos
Oh,
did the whole turning everything into bats and attacking Iron Man, I was waiting for Batman to actually just show up and for it to be like a huge prank where DC and Marvel just made a deal behind the scenes.
oh my god. Could you imagine?
Yeah, Disney
No,
just bought out Warner Brothers and DC.
it would be better if that post-credit sequence where Nick Fury calls up Captain Marvel, if instead of the Captain Marvel logo showing up on the pager, it's just the fucking Wonder Woman or Superman logo.
The phone just turns into a bat signal.
Yeah,
But
except
yeah,
with the current DC cast has that would actually be awful, but
yep.
yeah, but you know,
Oh, poor DC.
just the thought of Thanos summoning Batman from the DC universe just to beat up Iron Man.
it turns out the Justice League was Thanos' minions.
Yeah, the Justice League,
They killed
the Justice League is
they-
Thanos' Suicide Squad.
They killed the Black Order, so Thanos replaced him with the Justice League. Oh boy.
Yeah, but
Y'all.
yeah.
Also, I'm gonna imagine you're probably pretty confused by Thanos' 5 goons there, the gray people.
I just kind of assume that they are trained people.
Okay, yeah, they're just those. That is the first movie appearance we've had of any of those guys, and also the last.
Yeah, they're all dead now.
Yep. I was expecting they'd kill 1 or 2. I did not expect them to kill all 4 or 5 of them off immediately. There was only 4, weren't there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were only 4.
Yeah, spear guy, spear girl, big guy, little guy.
Yeah, aside,
Everyone
yeah,
liked. Everyone actually liked the weird wizardy one that stabbed Strange with all the little glass things, and that's kind of surprising because they're pretty bland characters.
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw someone say, like, "Okay, we got Thanos here, who's a real good villain, and then we've got these 4 DC villains."
Yeah, I like Thanos a
Oh my god,
lot. Like,
Thanos is really fucking good in that movie.
yeah. I also liked when, like, I watched review where the guy, not about Infinity War, just superhero movies, from last year, I think. And he purposefully called everybody with the wrong names, so Thanos became Thanatos, and that image of Thanatos doing the same things, like the Smite character, like not just
There's probably a Smite character with a Thanos skin in the game, dude.
Thanos is in Fortnite.
He is in Fortnite, yes, and he's in Payday 2 as well.
Yeah,
One of the masks you start with is a Thanos mask, and I believe I actually have it.
you do.
Yeah, you did.
So you can go ahead and take that next time we play Payday.
But yeah, so
And
I also liked when Thor upgrades his hammer. Well, that's
Thor was MVP for the heroes for that entire movie. Like it's a contest between him and Doctor Strange in terms of which hero got to do the coolest shit in that movie.
yeah,
It's like even when he was like out on the wherever forging his hammer and whatnot, I thought those things could have been very boring, but I was actually in my seat thinking these were some of the coolest scenes they had in the entire movie. And it's just them making a stupid hammer.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's really neat because
it's actually an axe,
Stormbreakers.
by the way. I'd say
Yeah,
it's more an axe.
well, it's an axe on one end and a hammer on the
Yeah.
other. Which it makes you question, like, why didn't Odin just order Stormbreaker in the first place instead of Mjolnir? But I guess we're still sticking with the odd narrative device that Mjolnir was a limiter, but Stormbreaker somehow makes him stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Thor is picking up power like it's fucking Goku in Dragon Ball. He's just getting stronger with every movie.
Yep. Like he's had 2 of the coolest superhero entrances in the past like 6 months. That final scene on the Rainbow Bridge, and then when
Oh.
he comes back to Earth with Stormbreaker.
Oh my god! Like Thor has done a complete 180 with this and Ragnarok. Because the thing with Thor was that Thor in the comics is almost Marvel's Superman. Like he's competing for the title of Marvel's Superman with Captain Marvel, I'd say. And
Yeah.
they've been holding him back in the movies. I guess because they didn't want to make Captain America or Hawkeye or Black Widow look like losers for being on a team with 3 people who are pretty much gods. And they aren't holding Thor back at all anymore. And we're now seeing it in effect. Because that fucking war sequence in Wakanda where Captain America and Black Widow are both like struggling to take on 3 people at once. And Thor just comes in with his massive fucking AoE lightning shit.
yeah.
Just kills 50 dudes.
I was about to say, I really liked how when Thor spawns in, he just does his smite moves. he does
Yeah.
he does the hammer throw and then he does his ult.
Yeah, basically. And, like, Addie, you would have loved that Rainbow Bridge fight scene. I need to find if it's on YouTube yet already, because you'll fucking love it. Because I mentioned it before, but Thor does a fucking Psycho Crusher through like 50 zombies, and it's crazy. It's one of the best things.
So what else did I enjoy? And when Thanos has to sacrifice Gamora for the Soul Stone, and she keeps talking to him like she's won. I just thought Thanos would pick her up by her neck and then just throw her down.
An instant thing rather than the long drawn out thing we got.
Yeah.
No, it would be better if it just cuts to like a long shot of the cliff where you just see them as smaller figures. And it's have you ever seen that You ever seen that GIF of the penguin standing by the ice, standing on like the ice glacier, and there's a little ice lake next to him?
No.
And one of the penguins just smacks the other one in the back of the head, launching him in. Hang on. Let me mute my let me mute my mic so that you can hear my keyboard tapping as I search for this GIF.
Also,
right.
in my opinion, it should have been like Thanos just turns her like she talks to him like she's one. Thanos turns around, and then we just cut to Gamora falling.
Just cut to Gamora already dead down at the bottom of the cliff.
Yeah, I mean it could have worked. Uh, what else was there? I liked how they introduced the Iron Spider suit. It's really funny because my my first introduction to Spider-Man was with the symbiote suit in comics. Oh yeah,
Dude, if that was how Thanos killed Gamora, I would lose my shit.
yeah.
I wish there was a way you could put that as like just the image for this entire podcast is just that on loop because that's one of my favorite bits on the internet.
I can do that. I can do that. So, but yeah,
the Iron Spider suit is one of the strangest things because in the comics, the Iron Spider suit is one of my most hated costume designs. I don't know about Pink
Agreed.
here.
Yeah,
I hate
absolutely.
that. It's in a strange way. Like ordinarily, I like simplistic super suit designs. That the Iron Spider suit is too simplistic.
I agree.
It's just red all over with one gold pattern, and red and gold don't work for Spider-Man either. Whereas just making the Iron Spider suit be similar to the usual Spider suit but with gold accents makes it work really well.
Yeah, I don't recall because I don't have like what is that called?
That would have
Photographic memory.
been the new Bendis New Avengers run, right? Where Tony gave him the Iron Spider suit.
The new Bender.
Yes, that was like leading up into the Civil War.
Yeah.
The new Bender Avengers were with Blackjack and Hookers.
Dude, there is honestly a Marvel character who's pretty much Bender. You ever heard of Machine Man?
No.
Okay, he's Bender. He is just an alcohol-fueled, belligerent robot.
Oh, I see.
Every now and then is like, man, I hate humans, and then he goes to save a bunch of humans.
Oh. But
he really wants to fuck Joe Casta for some reason. I guess he's got to get that robot. He's got to get that robot dick in there.
Yeah, what other options are there though? There aren't many female androids out in the world.
Well, according to Vision, you don't need to just go for another robot. Vision went after a human, so hey.
Or he could just find Vision.
Point.
Yeah, exactly. Or he can just fuck Vision, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
there's a difference between Vision and Robot Man, Machine Man, because Machine Man is a robot, whereas Vision is just a synthetic android, humanoid type thing. So maybe the parts are a little bit different there.
Maybe. It'd be weird. I'm not going to lie. It'd be more than a little. It turned out that Tony and Bruce had designed Vision with working genitals.
But yeah, yeah, go ahead.
We get the scene of Shuri criticizing Bruce for his choices making Vision, and it becomes entirely different if it's like that. It turns from why'd you wire his brain in this way to why'd you give him a dick?
Like, you didn't want him to feel inadequate, did you?
Maybe that's why Scarlet Witch likes him.
Yes.
And hey,
yeah.
he took a little bit from Thor too, so maybe he was given Thor's girth.
Anyway, yeah.
We've interrupted Addy like 10 times here while Addy's trying to say something.
I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, sweet.
So we were at Thor coming in, doing his smite ult, and abusing it, going through walls and all that. I'm becoming a chain smoker right here. I'm actually smoking my 5th pack of cigarettes while recording.
In the past 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck the environment.
But yeah. Yeah, Iron Spider. That was I was talking about. So yeah, Spider-Man with his comics. I have 2 issues of Spider-Man. One is at the start of the symbiote arc, and one is the start of the Civil War arc. So I just so happen to have like two of the most um important or whatever arcs in more recent history. I think, I guess, I don't know.
Ooh,
In
some
more
of-
recent history, I suppose, but like everything after '94, it's probably just not worth mentioning.
I would agree, but I'll also say Civil War was probably the most notable event for Spider-Man in the last 20 years, largely because it led into One More Day.
Yeah.
And like One More Day has legitimately ruined Spider-Man as a character because everything that has happened after One More Day was a direct result of One More Day.
Yeah.
Because it's part of their deliberate efforts to try and turn Spider-Man as far fucking away from Mary Jane as possible. I mean, even the fucking movies, they can't properly have Spider-Man with Mary Jane. So the directors are like, okay, we'll have Mary Jane. We just won't name her Mary Jane. She'll still be MJ, but instead of being Mary Jane, she'll be Michelle Jones. Like, okay. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Is whatever it takes to get it past Joe Quesada, I guess.
Yep.
Do you wonder if, like, at Marvel offices, if you mention the name Mary Jane, Joe Quesada in Joe Quesadilla's vicinity, he just pulls out a pistol and shoots you?
Like, that's not allowed here, man.
Nah, he just calls up the ghost of Joe Kirby, and the ghost of Joe Kirby, Superman punches you out the window.
Next,
Nah.
next, next, they just need to make to Peter a gigantic stoner so she can, or she, he, or so he can love Mary Jane again.
Yeah. God, whenever you actually refer to Mary Jane as marijuana and also bring up the fact that it's a name, I just remember the fucking bit from the live action Scooby Doo movies.
No, no, oh no.
Hey man, those were big in the States. Kind of, not really,
I,
kind of. They had Buffy the
Oh, they were
Vampire Slayer.
great.
I,
I
Hey,
just don't
Buffy.
remember 'em.
I liked them when I was a kid just because it had Mr. Bean.
I remember the awful, awful Scooby Doo the CGI they made Scooby and Scrappy out of.
Yeah, wasn't Scrappy controlling Mr. Bean or something?
I don't remember fucking Mr. Bean ever being in those movies.
I
He totally was, though.
He was? Rowan Atkinson was in the
I'm looking it up.
live action Scooby Doo's.
He absolutely was, if I recall correctly.
I don't remember that. I mostly remember like Scrappy Doo peeing on somebody, and I remember them getting chased by a monster on like a tribal island or something.
Yeah, that'll happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson is a part of the cast as Bondavarius.
So my memory of those movies is just shit. But the part of those movies I always see people post about on the internet is just the part where Shaggy runs into a woman named Mary Jane, and he says that's my favorite name.
And then he turns into Super Shag.
Yeah, he's fueled by the marijuana. It makes him stronger. He's gaining power so that he can fight the villains.
I thought you were going to say something else because of Shag being in his name.
Yeah. Oh man. Have either of you ever heard of or read the DC's Scooby Doo series they had a year or two ago?
No.
I did not.
I don't know if I've mentioned it to my family. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you guys, but a couple of years ago, DC got the contracts to write a Flintstones comic limited series and a Scooby Doo comic limited series, and they were more or less given freedom to do whatever they want. So the Flintstones comic wound up being really weird because it was like this very what's the word? It was this very meditative, like I'm forgetting the fucking word. When you're having like a crisis about your purpose in life and your place and your reason for existence, it's something crisis.
Existential. Yeah.
Like it's a whole existentialist crisis book, and it's like it turns out Fred and Barney are former war criminals, and they're racked by guilt over the horrors they committed in the war. And like, there's a whole section of Fred lying in bed crying because he's not sure his wife married him because she genuinely loves him or just because she felt like she had to get married at some point in her life. And it's like, what the fuck? And the Scooby-Doo comic I never actually read, but I saw the front cover, and Shaggy has a huge hipster beard with like a curled French mustache. And I was like, what? Why would DC do this?
Why not? I mean, to be fair, to DC, at one point, Batman and Robin did appear a lot in Scooby-Doo, so they might as well be DC characters.
When I was a little kid, we had those episodes on VHS, and I remember that episode because Joker and Penguin were chasing after Shaggy and Scooby, and Shaggy and Scooby are scared shitless of the Joker and the Penguin until Joker and Penguin are like, we'll get them. We'll put on suits that make us look like we're skeletons, and then they'll be scared of us as skeletons. Because it was old Adam West. It was like Cesar Romero Joker and fucking the Rocky coach as Penguin, right? It's like old Adam West cast, right? So they put on the skeleton suits, and then because Scooby's a dog, then he wants to kill them and he kicks their asses because they're skeletons and dogs love bones. And it's just like, okay.
Makes sense.
It's that goofy old cartoon logic.
Yeah, that whatever series of Scooby-Doo that was is where I got to know the Harlem Globetrotters or whatever their name is, and things like that. So,
were Shaggy and Scooby low-key assembling the Avengers?
yeah. Bloody, I need to show you a video, like yesterday. So
we got the Harlem Globetrotters. We got Batman and Robin. I think they got a fucking Don Knotts. Are they gonna assemble the Infinity Stones?
They also had like what was their name? Like I think they had the Jackson 5 at one point. They had another like family singer group. They were white and blonde, and that's all I remember.
The Brady Bunch?
Maybe.
The Brady Bunch was blonde?
I don't think they were. I was just going for generic white 50s people. We're supposed to be talking about Infinity War right now.
Scooby-Doo is the biggest character in Infinity War.
Off topic.
Our ability to go off topic on these things, like of all things, is incredible. This is the forum brought into voice form. We set out topic, like there's a reason we only set out like 4 or 5 topics for any given podcast, because we can stretch one topic into an hour's worth of discussion because we just spend the entire fucking time talking about random shit that comes up while talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Oh my god.
Watch it now.
Okay. I'm not watching it because I've seen GIFs of it and I think that's enough. Pink, just to explain it to you, you know how Dragon Ball always is coming up with new reasons for Goku to get new powers?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Ultra Instinct is Goku's new super duper duper superpower that lets him kill gods. At least Dragon Ball is finally coming around to admitting that Goku is basically a fucking god, because like we're way past that point.
There's also this. Yeah. Before we continue, read it.
What the fuck is wrong? Okay, whatever. Let's just move back to Infinity War. Let's move back to things that make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so Infinity War. At the ending, let's talk about that ending, huh?
So yeah, I didn't like the ending. I was disappointed that it wasn't the comic scene where Thanos fights with Captain America, and then while they're struggling, Thanos kills everybody in the world.
That's going to be the next movie, I guarantee you. Because I am still holding on to that theory that Cap's going to die in the same way he did in Infinity Gauntlet. Like, that has to be the way they send Cap off, because it's the best way to send Cap off.
Yeah.
The other send-off Cap has had in the comics, the other time Cap died in the comics was Civil War, and he died in the most terrible, embarrassing, stupid way in Civil War.
How did he die? I don't remember.
He got he got arrested, and he was being taken down like the steps of the Capitol building, while in handcuffs, and then a brainwashed Sharon Carter shot him, and that was it. That was it. Like, that's not the way Captain America should go out. That does not fit character at all. Like, going out defiantly and getting killed for it is the way he should go out.
Yeah, another death that because Robert Downey Jr. is not gonna be here for long. I don't think.
I'm still thinking Tony's gonna retire. That's
Well,
all that's gonna happen is he's gonna retire with Pepper.
If he has to die,
Yeah.
if he has to,
I have two theories, or not really theories, but I've got two guesses on how Stark ends his legacy. He either does, in fact, retire with Pepper, or he'll die at the conclusion of Infinity War and basically tie up everything since the Avengers, because he was the one who flew the bomb into the portal to the other side, and he's basically been haunted by the mere existence of that other world and Thanos himself for almost a decade at this point.
Oh my god. Oh my. Okay, I always wondered why Tony was the one who was the most bothered by the alien invasion, and everyone else just kind of was like, it happened. It now occurs to me why. Because Tony was the only one who saw the ship. That's why Tony is the only one who was scarred by it, because he realizes just how tiny he is in comparison, and the possibility of Thanos showing up again. That's why Tony's scared shitless of Thanos. It never occurred to me. Oh my god.
Yes, it's like they started off well with that idea in Iron Man 3, but they kind of it like 25 minutes through. But in Infinity War, because he's the one who wants to go up with the ship, I'm thinking that, Tony's been haunted by that memory for like a near decade now, and he's going to be the X Factor in Doctor Strange's plan. He's going to be the one that will eventually sacrifice himself, I'm assuming he'll sacrifice himself to kill Thanos and end that threat for good.
but is he gonna get everything that he ever wanted and not give it back? And know that you hate that fact.
Whatever reference you just made went over my head, but something I want.
Pink Hulk came the X Factor, and that's the lyrics to Xbox theme song when he had the X Factor, I think.
Oh no!
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah.
Oh man, we're going
I'm
places.
honestly surprised that went over my head.
But yeah, if Tony,
we're going places with the podcast whenever X-Pac comes up.
If Tony has to die, I kind of want him to die like this, because might as well go all the way.
Oh fuck! That's still not as embarrassing as the way Tony went out in the actual Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
How did he do it?
Because do you remember how he went out in Infinity Gauntlet, Pink?
Not at all.
Okay, when Thanos was pissed because Death wasn't showing him attention, and the female clone beat Tony to death and decapitated him.
Oh.
Off screen, I should know. Because Tony charges at Thanos, and then she just takes him, she just drags him off screen, and we don't see him for like 2 pages, and then it pans out, and you see that Tony's body has no head, and his head is on like the other side of the fucking rock that they were fighting on. Which was pretty gory for a 1990 Jim Starlin comic.
Yeah, but they went all out with that pretty much.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, like, the number one thing I always remember about Infinity Gauntlet that is going to be sad because he's not here is how Wolverine went out. Because Wolverine takes the charge, tries to take on Thanos first, and he's like, I'll show this guy what's really up. He's big, and everyone acts like he's big news, but I'll kill him just like the rest. Just as he's jumping up to Thanos snaps his fingers, and Wolverine's adamantium bones turn into noodles. And he just flops to the ground pathetically.
Yep.
It's one of the best parts of the entire comic. But what was I going to say? Right. So Soon the other day was complaining to me because he didn't like Thanos gave the speech to Tony about how he respects Tony and like he likes Tony. And Soon got angry and said that Tony doesn't deserve that and he should have given that speech to Cap, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Cap wouldn't even fit into Thanos' purview, because Tony was the one who carried the nuke and threw it at the ship. So Thanos would naturally think of Tony as the dangerous one because he threw a fucking nuclear missile at his ship.
Yeah, it's like everyone else, all the viewers and the Marvel Universe, they know what kind of person Cap is, and they give Cap that speech. Thanos is from another planet. He has no idea about Captain America. He doesn't care about Captain America in any way. Like, there's no reason he would know what kind of guy that Cap is, so there would be no reason for him to give that speech.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the neat thing, like, because Cap would just be an ant in Thanos' purview, which is kind of funny then, because whenever there's the big scene that was shown in all the trailers, where Cap is holding Thanos back holding onto the Infinity Gauntlet and pushing Thanos back with all his might, when it cuts to Thanos' face, Thanos has the most confused look on his face possible. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
I really liked how they did those trailers, because they did a lot of things that watching the trailer, it made you think one thing. But when you actually watch the movie, a lot of those scenes in the trailers, it's like, they mashed scenes up with voiceovers. So in the trailers, it does seem like Thanos is delivering that speech to Captain America. But in the movie, he's saying all that stuff to start.
Right. It's kind of the great thing. Like, there's an issue nowadays with trailers spoiling the best moments of a movie.
Yeah.
They really suck. And it's like, I'd much rather have trailers that are simplistic and just try to show a movie's tone and basic synopsis. But most trailer companies don't want to do that. So if I can't get that, I'd at least want a trailer that will at least just fucking lie to me about what will happen in the movie so it doesn't spoil it.
Yeah, because they spoiled me on a lot of stuff, like which characters would be off with who and whatnot, like that.
And Hulk being in the Wakanda charge? How about that one?
In the Iron Man suit. It's like that. I'm pretty sure that must have thrown everyone for a loop.
The famous the quote that everybody loved from the trailers, balancing the universe should not be a fun thing to do, but this puts a smile on my face, is not in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that quote is awful and doesn't fit Thanos' motivations in the movie.
Yep.
Can I... Go ahead.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that Thanos should not be having fun with this in the movie, because in the movie, it very much paints it as Thanos hates to do this just as much as anyone. He just thinks it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
So yeah, can I mention how much I hate the new Hulk?
What,
Mark
you mean?
Ruffalo? Or just Hulk in general?
Well, whoever is playing him now. Well, not the guy, but how they write him.
Okay, yeah, I understand that, because the Bruce Banner has been steadily declining in quality with every movie. I remember when the first Avengers came out and everybody was like, who the fuck is Mark Ruffalo? And we came out of the theater being like, holy shit, that is the guy who should be playing Hulk from now on. Because he did a really good job of making it look like, he was this genius scientist and regular guy, but he made it look like he was always on edge, always capable of snapping. And it made you terrified shitless of Hulk, as you should be. And with every movie, Bruce has gotten calmer and goofier, to the point where Infinity War, he is pretty much entirely a comic relief character.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my problem with him.
Which there is that problem. At the same time, I have to wonder if almost there is kind of an element, like maybe I'm just overthinking it here, but there is some element I'd have to imagine that since Hulk isn't showing, since Hulk refuses to come out, I have to wonder if Bruce honestly is just getting more lighthearted because he's, for the first time in decades, totally free of the Hulk's influence. Like, that is a notable aspect.
Yeah.
It's also probably there to show you how much of a loser Bruce is compared to Hulk. Because, like, who would the Avengers rather have on their team? Bruce Banner or the fucking Hulk?
Well, another thing that I didn't like is how they had him treat Hulk like a different entity, like he was a symbiote.
That is Hulk. That is pretty much how Hulk is. Well, it's kind of a weird thing where Hulk is and isn't a different person. Because
Yeah,
Hulk
I know,
basically
but
is Bruce's inner child made manifest, but it's almost like Bruce's inner child got turned into something else entirely.
I get that, but if I remember correctly, and I mean, the old Hulk movies, the 2008 or maybe even before that, I don't remember, freaking Hulk movies weren't good. But I liked how they didn't treat Hulk as a different entity. It was Bruce's other side. It was a different character, but it was Bruce's other side. In this movie, he treats it like it's Venom. Like
Eh,
it's not really just him. It's him and Hulk. It's not, you know.
Well, the thing is, there's always kind of an argument there, and I feel like it makes sense to have it waver between both, because I think they are ultimately two sides of the same person, but I think at the same time, neither of those sides want to acknowledge that they're the same person. Because Bruce hates Hulk because he sees Hulk as an idiot brute, and Hulk hates Bruce because he sees Bruce as kind of a dish rag, you know, a wet dish rag.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for me, that I think is what is usually going on with Hulk. But it is funny to me that like Hulk, the comparison I saw the other day that fits really well. Hulk is like a fighting game player that he's a super duper pro fighting game player, right? He lost the first round against Thanos and rage quit.
Yeah.
And Hulk just spends the entire movie rage quitting. It is kind of a notable thing though, because like Hulk would be so useful here because Hulk's the only one that lasted longer than half a minute going one-on-one with Thanos. So him actually being there to help everybody else means they might actually have a shot against Thanos. They just got to get Hulk to come the fuck out of Bruce.
But yeah, another thing is that you mentioned the Dragon Balls, and when we walked out of the theater, I just told my father that it doesn't really matter who died because they're just gonna gather the Dragon Balls and wish for Shenlong to bring them back.
Except for Loki, Heimdall, and Gamora, those three are probably fucking.
Which sucks because I was waiting for a big reveal where um Thor attacks Thanos and it like a shadow of Loki appears behind Thanos and backstabs him like freaking Smite Loki. I mean, might as well.
That would actually be a crazy fucking twist if at the end of the movie when Thor and Thanos, you just see Loki appear out of nowhere. It's like, what the fuck? Has Loki been backpacking onto Thanos or Thor this entire time and they haven't noticed?
Yeah, but
Like riding on their back like fucking Yoda? Like Loki's really sunburned from where Thor was standing in the way of that star?
It's like he got sacrificed again. Like took all the brunt of that so Thor wouldn't have to.
That would be interesting. Which, by the way, Thor withstanding the full force of a star. Holy shit. Like, that is the craziest shit now.
Yeah.
They just did that. Because you know how much power is within a star? A fuckload.
Yeah.
Like, that is honestly Superman levels. If Superman was not powered by solar energy, then I'd say even Superman probably wouldn't be able to stand the full force of a star.
Yep.
yeah, but Superman has to be environmentally friendly.
Yeah. Hey, Superman is solar powered. Superman is green.
Yeah.
As opposed to those other coal powered superheroes who are bad for the environment.
Yeah.
Like Machine Man and his alcohol.
Dude, I would actually love for there now to be a comic where Superman gets onto some robotic superhero in the DC universe, someone like Robot Man, and be like, "You need to be better for the environment, like me. I'm solar powered, bitch."
Yeah.
Gotta install some solar panels onto Robot Man.
No, he becomes Solar Man.
Yep.
By the way, I don't remember what exactly set it off, but during watching Infinity War, I was just reminded for whatever reason of Kite Man's origins in one of the comics.
The main thing I remember about Kite Man isn't his origins. It's the fact that he fucking died in the pre-Flashpoint universe and got eaten by that leader of the what's Darkseid's mob that he has on Earth? Intergang?
No idea.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the leader of that gang killed Kite Man and ate him. It was fucking weird.
Right, I know what set it off. I didn't know the name of the winged character that flied around and died in the end while War Machine was looking for him. So I just called him Kite Man.
Falcon.
You called Falcon Kite Man. Oh man.
I mean, yeah.
No one here I think is a big fan of Falcon, but that's an unnecessary insult to Falcon.
No, I love Falcon, and I think I forget his name, the actor, but I think he does a really good job. He seems very charismatic, and it's kind of hard to imagine that he'll be in a B role for the remainder of his Marvel Cinematic Universe career. I think he has the potential to be a breakout talent there. Like,
Well, I mean, there is the old big argument people are still having over whether or not he or Bucky will pick up the shield after Cap bites it.
yeah, I still want it to be Bucky, but I wouldn't mind seeing it as Sam Wilson. Like,
I still think they're just going to retire the Cap title after Steve dies, but
oh, probably. Like, I don't see them making like the comics where they completely replace the Captain America mantle, but I do see that Bucky and Falcon would be getting their own movies in the future.
Captain America dies and they retire the Captain America mantle. Instead of that, they will introduce a new Avenger called Hydra Commander.
oh my god. Speaking of, yes, we were talking about One More Day earlier. I already see that Secret Empire is Captain America's One More Day.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But
I fucking hate Marvel comics.
I hate Secret Empire so much. It didn't just ruin freaking Cap. It also
ruined Punisher and Deadpool and Thor as well.
Yeah.
And Cap at least Cap can make the excuse of it wasn't me. It was another me. This me is good. The other me is bad. Thor, Punisher, and Deadpool were completely under their own free will, and they chose to become Nazis.
Yeah. And the thing is that I actually read the Deadpool comics up to that point. I skipped the Secret War arc, but I saw what was before it and what was after it, and actually read some of what happened in it. But the thing is that watching
he killed Coulson and Preston.
That was I was going to bring up.
Kill Coulson and Preston. Yeah,
it's like
I think they rebuilt. I think they've rebuilt Preston now, but still, he still did it.
Yeah, the thing is that, there was this whole thing where Deadpool becomes slightly better. He actually gets some footing into not being a piece of shit and trying to be a hero of some sort. And actually trying to make him into a good character. And then he goes and becomes a Nazi.
Yeah, it's been one of the only good storylines that Deadpool of Marvel as a whole in the last 10 years. And they fucking ruined it with some editorial mandate being like, hey, we need a big crossover. Nazi Cap, and he needs other superheroes to also become Nazis because we're trying to tell a story about America being corrupted under Donald Trump. And it's like, well, fuck, Thor's ruined, Deadpool's ruined, Punisher's ruined, thanks. You ruined one of my favorite Marvel characters, Punisher. You ruined one of my favorite recent Marvel storylines, the Deadpool redemption. And you ruined one of your most iconic characters, Thor. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And Pincus, you and me are arguing about this. Pink is the biggest Marvel fanboy out of all of us, and he is sitting there in a silent rage.
Yeah. I oftentimes say, and I've probably said this multiple times on the forum, continuity died with Kirby. Anything post 94, you can take it or leave it.
Yep. Well, it's the thing, you end up having to view comics as a whole in terms of there's good storylines and bad storylines. And I view characters in the same way because for me, comic book characters, like whenever people say, "Oh, I hate Iron Man," "Oh, I hate fucking Captain America," "I hate Thor," I can't say that I hate any character because comic book characters change so much from writer to writer and storyline to storyline.
Yes, there are plenty of times where the character that you've absolutely hated with one writer comes along with a different writer, and then you're like, "Hey, this guy's friggin' awesome. Why didn't I like him before?"
Tony can be the worst character or the best character Marvel has at various points.
Yeah,
Because
and it can change on a dime.
because like Tony, no matter what, is defined by his flaws, but how it's handled, it depends. Like a bad writer tries to depict Tony as being super duper perfect man, and he's also flawed, but he's flawed in awesome ways. It's like, hey, he's alcoholic. Hey, he knows how to have fun, right? Whereas a good writer either portrays Tony as being a good hero despite his flaws, who has to work against his issues with alcoholism and egoism to do proper good, or displays him as a villain who thinks he's the hero, right?
Yep.
I mean, Ultimate Tony is still probably the best Tony to me. Maybe, like, admittedly, I've not read very much of the Ultimates, but considering he was the only one of the Ultimates who wasn't a total shitbag, like, I'll say Ultimate Tony was probably the best Tony.
Yes, absolutely. Ultimate Tony was the only person on the Ultimates roster that I enjoyed. Like, Wasp felt one-dimensional. Hank Pym was a one-dimensional caricature of an arc that happened in the 70s.
They were all characters.
Yeah.
Because Wasp is a caricature of Wasp's tendency to sleep around on the team. Because that's all Wasp did in the Ultimates was sleep around with other Avengers. And Cap and Hawkeye then were like parodies of themselves. Like Cap and Hawkeye are like what happens whenever a writer's like, I'm going to take this character next logical extension, and then goes off in a complete opposite direction. Because Captain America is like, in terms of ideals, Captain America is supposed to represent everything that is right with America, and instead they turned him into a jingoistic nationalist fuck, like who says he hates France for some reason. And then they turned Hawkeye into a psycho to basically fucking Bullseye.
Yeah.
Like they even did the stupid rips his fingernails off and throws them bit, which is a classic Bullseye bit.
Yep.
I don't know. But
Speaking of the Ultimate Universe,
I hated that entire Ultimate Universe. The very first few issues for like maybe the first 2 years of Ultimate Spider-Man, those were great. I loved them as a kid. I loved the art as a kid. I hated the art when I grew older and knew what art was. But after a certain point, Ultimate Spider-Man was just flat out terrible.
yeah,
Ultimate Fantastic Four was never good. The Ultimates, we've already discussed that. And I think that covers Ultimate
X-Men. Oh my god. Wolverine watching his potential children have sex in the bushes.
That was a part of the Ultimates, though.
It was, but it's still it's still technically Ultimate X-Men because Wolverine.
Still technically Ultimate X-Men. I'll agree with you there.
What the fuck, man? That's the worst part of Ultimates for me. Still, is the Quicksilver Scarlet Witch thing. Because it defined their entire characters in the Ultimates. Because like Quicksilver's thing to me, like in the main universe, is that he's like, even though he tries to be a hero, at the end of the day, he's still a backstabbing little bastard who thinks he's always right and will do the worst possible shit to try and get his way. And Scarlet Witch in the main universe is, to me, defined by her conflict between the good she wants to do and the genuine love she holds for her family and Vision and everyone, conflicting with her steadily increasing mental illness.
Yeah.
but yeah, so
And also,
Scarlet Witch
go ahead.
is one of my personal favorite Avengers. It's like, if she's not on the Avengers roster, it's kind of not an Avengers to me. And the Ultimate Wanda is just terrible. Like, there's no redeeming qualities to any of the Ultimate characters.
well, Tony's still a genuine hero. You can say that about Tony.
So, we've said that repeatedly. Tony is the only good thing over there. And he's dead now.
Yeah, he's super fucking dead. Ultimate Cap had good moments, beating the shit out of Ultimate Hank being the biggest one.
Yep.
And Ultimate Hank, I like in the same way that I like Hal Jordan as a villain, because I'm not an old fan. I didn't grow up with Hank Pym being a good guy. The Hank Pym I've always known is the domestic abusing psychopath. So that's who I associate Hank as being. So I don't have too much of a problem with Ultimate Hank. Ultimate Cap, I hate the jingoistic and homophobic parts because that doesn't fit Cap to me. But at the same time, there are parts of Cap that I'm almost kind of interested in. Like, because it is a thing. Cap is a soldier. Cap was a soldier in World War II.
Yeah.
And there are bits of dialogue where somebody, I want to say maybe War Machine, is talking to Cap and says, well, he's trying to antagonize Cap over something. He says, so you like to kick people when they're down, Cap? And Cap just totally, completely, honestly says, in my experience, that's the best time to kick them. Like, it wouldn't fit main universe Cap at all because it's a very cruel thing to say.
Yeah.
But it is almost interesting in some capacity to think of Cap in that capacity of having been a soldier.
I feel like the roles would be reversed in the Ultimate Universe. John Walker, U.S. agent, he's probably the more liberal, loving guy.
Well, Ultimate Cap's not even I don't even know what's going on with Ultimate Cap because he is just a scumbag some days. And whatever. Let's not talk about Ultimate. Let's go back to Infinity War.
So
we keep veering off this fucking.
Speaking of the Ultimate Universe, when Spider-Man died, the first thing that jumped to my mind is it time for Miles Morales already? No, but are they going to replace him already with Miles?
It's gonna be difficult to say because there are rumors shooting around that Homecoming 2 might be a prequel.
Might be what?
Might be a prequel, like set between Homecoming and Infinity War. Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Which may mean that if they dusted Peter in Infinity War, that might mean it sticks and that Miles Morales will be for Homecoming 3. Which would be fucking weird.
I mean, they already have Miles Morales as friend in the movies, so...
Uncle.
Yeah.
Miles Morales' uncle. Which, can I note that of all the Spider-Man characters that I was not expecting to show up, Prowler is definitely one of them.
Shit, Prowler. Yeah. I forgot he existed.
Prowler. Remember him from Friend or Foe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Donald Glover plays Prowler in the movies.
Good enough.
Well, he hasn't become Prowler yet, but he's probably going to become Prowler someday.
Yeah.
They didn't hire Donald Glover for just a bit role in Homecoming 1. He's got to play some kind of role in the future.
I should hope so. And Prowler could be a very interesting character to use for a Spider-Man movie. Because nobody would have seen the Vulture being an awesome villain, but here we are.
Oh, yeah, totally. Vulture went from being one of them. There's this weird thing with the MCU where they got a lot of the biggest and best villains like Ultron and Red Skull and then played them off very generically and made them kind of suck. And then Phase 3, they're like, let's make the villains good for once. And they got fucking Ego and Vulture and made Ego and Vulture awesome.
Yep. Like, very good for the villains. Like, Red Skull was a disappointment to me.
Oh, yeah, because
there was nothing to him at all.
Because I think a bigger issue with Red Skull was Red Skull swearing off the Nazis and saying Hydra is bigger than the Nazis. Because I think Red Skull being a Nazi is a big part of what makes him a villain.
Yeah.
Because he's a super hateful... Red Skull is hate personified to me. So getting rid of the prejudice aspect kind of takes away part of the character to me.
Yeah.
It's like Red Skull is almost designed just to be the foil of Captain America in that regard, because Cap is supposed to be such a loving, hopeful guy that wants to help everybody, and Red Skull just hates everyone, but certain ethnic minorities in particular, and mutants. Because Red Skull's a fucking shitbag, and that's what he's supposed to be.
So yeah,
But
I looked up Kite Man just to know if they could actually make him into a movie, and it turns out that he's DC. Shit. I'm-
yes, he is decent. Well, I was bringing up Darkseid in the Intergang, so I was hoping you'd figure it out from that. But
I always forget which side Darkseid is on. I guess the dark side, but other than that,
Yeah.
well, Darkseid has to be on DC because if Darkseid was in Marvel, then Darkseid and Thanos would be way too similar.
Yeah.
And this
Thanos was created because of Darkseid, and it's only because Marvel lost Kirby to DC that Darkseid is over at DC.
yeah, totally. Like it's kind of the funny thing about the New Gods as a whole is that they were supposed to be a Marvel idea, but Marvel editorial told Jack Kirby to fuck off, so Kirby went and did it for DC.
Yep. Like, I'm pretty sure Starlin has said, maybe even repeatedly in the past, that Thanos was their interpretation of Darkseid.
Yeah, it's kind of the interesting thing about Thanos and Darkseid that when they started, they were pretty much the same character, and now they are pretty much entirely different.
Yep.
Because it's the thing I always remember about Thanos and Darkseid is that they're both sympathetic in some strange way, but in different fashions. Because Darkseid is the god of tyranny. No matter what, Darkseid would have ended up the way he was because it's in his nature. Whereas Thanos chose to be the way he is. So there's kind of an argument of who's the worst villain. Like evil by nature or evil by choice. Because
Yeah.
I mean, Thanos can do good things from time to time. Darkseid is always a bastard. But at the same time, Darkseid didn't really make a choice. There's also the funny thing of Darkseid actually being more casual and having more of a sense of humor than Thanos. So sometimes people just walk into their houses and see Darkseid sitting on their sofa,
Yep.
being like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yep. I'm pretty sure Darkseid stealing everyone's chair is a running gag at this point.
It is. Just because at the same time, it's Darkseid. Are you going to tell him to get off your sofa?
That's my recliner, man. You can't sit there.
Omega
I'm
beams.
gonna let him sit wherever he pleases.
The Omega beam stops just short of his face. He's like, "You know what? I'm going to let you stay."
You can have the chair.
But yeah, for Infinity War, for that dusting ending, Addy, I have to imagine for you, it's like, oh, hey, there's that character I didn't know. He's dead. No, another character I didn't know. He's dead.
I actually knew most of the
it
cast
must-
aside from the Wakandas out of or freaking
Outside of Panthers?
yeah.
Okay, well, they only brought in 3 of the Wakandan characters, and I'm sure you can figure out that the scientist girl was different.
Yeah.
Which that's Shuri, in case you were wondering who Shuri was from the tabletop.
They had Shuri, T'Challa, M'Baku, and what was that?
Okoye.
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 Yeah. Okoye. I always
Akaya.
forget.
Avocado.
Yeah. I'll see it spelled out and I'll remember it. Then once I'm saying it, I'm like, I draw a blank. It's like, what was that name?
And Bucky also is probably going to end up being a Black Panther side character. I'm still sticking with that thought that Bucky's going to stick around. Because I feel like there's got to be another white cast member there other than Agent What's-His-Face. And I think Bucky fits into that role pretty well. Because Bucky can still be there to fight alongside Panther. And he'll still run the whole thing of Panther not trusting Bucky because, whatever.
But the question is,
yeah.
will Bucky get 2 swords, one steel and one iron or whatever?
One steel and one silver.
Yeah,
Eddie.
silver.
But let's just move on. So the oh my god, your stupid fucking references stop my brain. You gotta going back to Infinity War. I don't know. Have you guys obviously Addy hasn't noticed because he hasn't watched the last movies. What's up with them trying to make it like Rhodey and Falcon are friends now? When did that happen?
I have no idea.
Because they played it up as Rhodey should be the one that's sad that Falcon died. Like, why?
Like,
And
they
like
had a bro moment in Infinity War, maybe?
Yeah, they had 1 or
don't
2,
know.
and then it's like, oh, Rhodey's looking for, and that's sad. Why is Rhodey the one looking for Sam?
Yep.
They'd be like only distantly knowing each other because they were both Avengers, and that's it.
Yeah, I can't think of any interactions they had before that. So
And the thing
yeah, I
is,
didn't understand that in the theater either, but I was like, okay.
and the thing is, Falcon is the reason that Rhodey is fucking disabled
Are
now.
we talking about more War
Yeah,
Machine and
just
Kite
a
Man?
little bit.
Like it's not really Vision's fault. It's Falcon's fault that Rhodey is fucking crippled. Like what? What? Oh my god. What'd you say, Addy?
Are we talking about War Machine and Kite Man?
Yeah, we're talking about War Machine and Falcon. Most people call War Machine Rhodey because War Machine is kind of full.
Yeah.
I was actually happy to see him back because I thought that they'd write him off after Iron Man 2.
Oh no, War Machine has been one of the most recurring elements in the main line since.
I see.
Yeah. I'm not really a fan of what's the actor's name?
Don Cheadle.
Yeah, Don Cheadle. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of part that sucks because War Machine's one of my favorites.
Yes, I absolutely agree. War Machine is a great character, and Don Cheadle, I just feel, doesn't have what it takes to be a decent War Machine. He's very bland. He's not exciting in any way. He doesn't have an it factor to him. He would never be able to replace Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr.
Now,
He pales in comparison to Falcon, who's another sidekick. It's like he doesn't even trump Bucky in the sidekick department.
now with
Well,
with War
the
Machine,
thing is about War.
go.
Oh, just go ahead, Addy.
I might need a stupid joke, so you can go ahead and I'll say it after.
Okay, the thing about War Machine to me, like Rhodey is supposed to be a kind of a foil to Tony, in that where Tony's the big rebel who doesn't give a shit about anyone. He's supposed to be big Mr. Authoritarian, always follow the rules, do the letter. Like that's why he was a big part of Civil War as the one who was a big part in the pro-registration side, kind of replacing Reed. And
Yeah.
Don Cheadle does not seem like an authoritarian, big rule follower guy. Don Cheadle plays Rhodey up as being basically kind of like Tony, but less of an asshole.
And he's just too friggin' quiet. He doesn't have much input at all.
Oh, absolutely not. And Rhodey's supposed to be an opinionated guy.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah, because he's one of the people with the strongest senses of ideals and morals. And there's also something to be said about they continue to give War Machine a lame ass arsenal. Because every single War Machine spot in the movies so far has just been, oh, that minigun on his shoulder fires at the mooks, and also he throws out a few missiles. Like one of the neatest parts of War Machine has always been the ridiculous amount of huge weapons that he stuffs into that fucking suit. Like flamethrowers, like the minigun and the rocket launcher there, yeah, but there's flamethrowers, and I've seen him like have crazy laser lightsabers and fucking lasers and a chainsaw at one point. I think he had 2 chainsaws each wrist.
Yeah.
And it's very lame that he just does the minigun again.
Yep. He's just Iron Man with a gun on his shoulder.
Yeah,
But even less than that now because Tony's got his bleeding edge armor. Like all the high tech nanite armor, and Rhodey is still in that old Mark II suit.
It's still the Mark II suit. Like when you think about it, Rhodey still has to go through the entire long ass process that Tony had to put on the Mark II suit.
Yes.
Where he has to step into the machine that like the fucking machine that turns him into the Leonardo da Vinci painting while it puts the armor on him. He has to make a T pose while it puts the armor on.
Well, just let him return to his default state.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is that they could just do like they did in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I think, and just make War Machine a recolor of Iron Man. Like, just take Tony Stark.
Well, that happened because of copyright issues, but it actually did totally happen in the comics.
Oh.
Where for like 2 or 3 years, Rhodey was Iron Man, but silver.
Yeah. He was in the Silver Centurion armor then.
The thing I remember about Rhodey's time as Iron Man is that he was Iron Man during Secret Wars, and Captain Marvel, who was I believe, help me here.
Monica Rambeau.
Yes, Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel at the time, and she spends like a good chunk of the book trying to get with Iron Man because she thinks it's Tony in the suit. And the instant that Rhodey takes off the helmet, like, all right, let's do this, and she sees it's Rhodey, and she's like, oh no.
I didn't get the billionaire.
Oh man, poor Monica Rambeau. Talk about comic book characters that they pushed so hard and went nowheres.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, I didn't get the millionaire. Just leaves for DC, so there will be 2 Captain Marvels. Not Marvel.
Well, DC doesn't have a Captain Marvel anymore because they renamed him Shazam.
Well, yeah, but they still use that name for him from time to time to reference Marvel, I think.
Well, Marvel's referred to him as Captain Marvel because Marvel did that weird thing where they acknowledged that DC's pretty much an alternate universe that we mentioned on the podcast earlier.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh, hey, Shazam has the Mind Stone. Wait, what? Comics are weird.
Yeah.
But what was I about to say? Oh, I do want to mention, just because I read about it earlier today, but apparently Kevin Feige actually said that they are working on putting Miss Marvel in the movies. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. So that's
at least
that makes me wonder. You keep going.
I was gonna say that at least he can't mess up the art on a person.
Yeah. With Kamala, I hope they keep Kamala's comic book design because I actually really like Kamala's comic book design. It looks really good for like a street level hero where it's still a superhero suit, but it's also really lame and put together. So it's obvious that it's still just a civilian put this together.
I think that's why I don't like her suit so much. That, and I hate skirts on costumes.
It's supposed. I think that's supposed to be a Muslim thing. I think
This is the red and golden color palette is what I'm imagining you're talking about right now.
Oh my god!
All I hear is Kamala.
Not.
Alex has stopped working properly. Please go hit the reset button. Like, I don't know. I think I'd be pretty excited for a Miss Marvel Kamala Khan movie. Like,
if they do it right, it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can never get into the character because one, I've not read comics full time since, well, basically ever. I don't mess with modern Marvel. I'm not going to probably ever until they stop making dumb decisions. But the character seems interesting enough. I was not a big fan of her power set, but I think that might also have to do with the fact that I hate the art so much because everything just looks stupid.
The art is questionable, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I read the first 6 issues and they were a lot of fun. From what I understand, the issues following really suffered because they started turning it into a kind of a social justice thing instead of making an actual fucking story.
Yes, that's what they're doing with old comics nowadays.
Yeah, except for the weirdo comic where Richard Rider is like, wow, I hate modern Marvel. And it's like, okay, this got past editorial somehow.
Editorial never liked Nova.
Well, I guess they don't like Richard Rider enough that anytime a Richard Rider passes them, they're just like, whatever, pass it. I don't want to read it.
Yeah, just get it on the shelves and let's hope we make our money back from that.
You have seen the Richard Rider comic panels where he's told all of the shit that's passed while he was away, and he just says, I hate all of this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I posted an image like that in the comic book thread.
Yeah, it's apart from an actual Marvel comic.
Yep.
Where all the new teen heroes pick Richard Rider up in a van, and they all explain who they are and what's happened in the last years. And Richard Rider is just so aghast at all of it. But what was I saying? All right, Kamala Khan, though, that first 6 issues, I feel like ever since the end of the good Spider-Man days, since you said what 94, right?
Yeah.
Ever since the end of the good Spider-Man days, Marvel has been chasing that golden high again. With all these teen heroes they've been making, they're trying to chase that again. I feel like Kamala Khan's first 6 issues were the closest they've gotten in a long time. And of course, they wound up boning it up pretty hard, but they still got close, which is better than Marvel's done in a long time.
Yeah.
And I think there's some fun to be had from Kamala, because Kamala Khan's power set is basically she's Plastic Man if Plastic Man had limits. If Plastic Man wasn't a fucking god.
Yeah.
Because Plastic Man, like, has no justification to lose anyone outside of, like, reality warpers. Because Superman could punch Plastic Man, and Plastic Man would just rebound back, literally.
Yep.
And Kamala Khan has the limitation that while she can do all that great plastic, she can only do one thing at once. She can shapeshift, but she can't do anything else. She can stretch, or she can grow, or she has health regeneration. She can't use any of those powers together. Which means that if she's growing to giant size to fight a big enemy, she can't take any hits, or else, like, she'll actually bleed the fuck out like a regular person because she doesn't get enhanced health regen while she's in giant form.
So what you're saying is that she's made for PvP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is a balanced superhero. The game designers have created a balanced superhero that will fit well into the PvP meta. As opposed to the broken OP characters like Sentry.
Yeah. They need to nerf him already. Mr.
But he-
Fantastic too. It's like he can do everything. He needs a nerf.
Mr. Fantastic is like in the complete opposite direction of Plastic Man, where theoretically Mr. Fantastic's powers let him do so much, but all he really does is stretch across the lab to grab a beaker.
Yeah. Like whatever makes him happy, I guess.
Mr. Fantastic's more so broken in the science department. In
Yeah.
terms of, oh, hey,
That's
here's
why
this
he's
new...
so OP. He just travels to alternate dimensions and brings back guns that we have no idea how to even pronounce. And that will save the day.
Or it's like, hey, here's this massive intergalactic universe-ending monster. Oh, I've already built a gun to kill it. All right, well, thanks,
Too
Reed.
OP. Too OP. Please nerf.
Here's the new raid, Galactus.
Hey, I've
just
also
gonna...
built a time machine. Reed's like, I've also built a time machine, so even if this gun doesn't work, we can go back in time and fucking stomp him as a baby. Also, if I mentioned I'm autistic. Reed is such a weird character. It's going to be strange seeing him in the movies again. If they even decide to do it after fucking Miles Teller Reed, whatever happened.
Yep.
Huh.
Like, I'm hopeful one day we'll get a good Fantastic Four movie.
I don't know. Modern audiences are just so... Like, modern audiences like Thing and Doom still. Like, modern audiences like Doom way better than they like the Fantastic Four themselves.
Yeah.
The only...
Because, like, you can...
Yeah?
The modern comic book fan, you can mention Doctor Doom to them, and they'll be like, yeah, I love Doctor Doom. Whereas you mention Reed, and the average comic fan is like, what a dickhead.
Yeah, the only thing...
Reed is kind of a jerk, though. He's very egotistical.
Well, the thing you have to remember about Reed is that he named his best friend The Thing.
No, that was Sue. Well, Sue called him a thing, and Thing just adopted it.
Was that in the Ultimate Comics? Because in the Ultimate Comics, I thought it was in the Ultimate Comics, Johnny came up with The Thing, and in the main universe, it was Reed.
I'm pretty sure in the main universe, it was Sue that had called Ben a thing. And when, I think it might have been Johnny or Ben who wanted to just actually start the Fantastic Four when they were all choosing their names. Thing was the one who said, well, I guess we'll just go with what Sue called me and I'll be Thing.
That's a little bit different. I've always heard that it was Reed that called him The Thing, and that was always one of the number one Reed's an asshole statement.
It's certainly possible. Like, because Reed's entire arc was basically treating Thing like a child, or Ben like a child.
Yeah, it usually was. And then Ben wanted to fuck Reed's wife, so that's how it was. That's how Stanley rolled back then.
Yep.
The cynical thing for me about Sue coming up with the name is back then it would have been like Jack Kirby would have been like, maybe Sue can have some ideas, and then Stan Lee would be like, maybe Sue can stay in the kitchen.
Exactly right.
Like Jack Kirby was probably 20 or 30 years Stan Lee's senior and was so much more ahead of the times than Stan. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Sue can stay invisible in the
anything-
kitchen.
Yeah. Jack Kirby was ahead of his time in everything. Like,
The thing
I
always
Yeah, go
remember
ahead.
that Stan Lee's favorite storyline to write in every single with Jack Kirby was, here's the main character, here's his girlfriend, here's the rest of the male cast that also wants to fuck the main character's girlfriend.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how X-Men started as well.
Yeah, because Scott and Hank, because Professor X, Angel, and Beast all also wanted to get with Jean. Iceman usually was chasing some other girl, which is part of why the fan theory of Iceman being gay started, I think. Yeah, it was kind of like an already long-running theory, but it was a stupid theory.
But yeah, as for the
like the modern theories of Captain Bucky being gay. Have you seen the Tumblr fangirl stuff for Captain Bucky? It's comical.
I'll go to Tumblr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either, but it spreads
You don't
outwards.
have to go to Tumblr to see it for the most part.
Yeah, it spreads outwards like a disease.
That just seems like Tumblr.
Yeah. Yeah, just one last thing to note about Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Like, it is notable that the comics Kirby had to write with Stan Lee. Stan Lee was like, we'll have a girl on the team and she'll be called Invisible Girl, even though she's a full woman. We'll have a girl on the team and she'll be called Marvel Girl, even though she's a full-grown woman. And then Jack Kirby goes off to make his own comic for DC, and he makes Big Barda, who is 7 feet tall, crushes people with her bare hands, and like clearly the muscle in her relationship. Which I hear that Mr. Miracle comic they got going now is really fucking good.
I hope so. The New Gods have so much untapped potential. It's like DC has that entire New Gods lore universe type thing to use, and they never do it.
Totally. Like the last 10 years of the main universe and the new 52 both shit all over the New Gods for some reason. And they are so fucking good. Like, have you read the original Jack Kirby New God series?
Yes.
I don't think I fully finished it. I think I only got to the point where the first run. But that's such a fucking good series.
Absolutely. Like, Jack Kirby is one of the most influential figures on my entire life, so I made it a point to read the New Gods.
Yeah, I my consumption of a lot of DC stuff comes from the last 10 years, so I thought Orion was always kind of a character, because modern DC treats Orion like shit. I go back and read the original Jack Kirby New Gods comic, and Orion is a really fucking good character, a really interesting character. Because Orion is one of those rare Marvel comic, well, not Marvel, what's wrong with me? One of those rare comics characters where it's like, he's a hero, but he's got a dark side. But, they never really go too into the dark side. Orion legitimately has a fucking dark side.
Like, the dark side is his father. It doesn't get any more blatant than that.
Because I remember the 4th, 5th issue where Orion, gives into his other side, and it, completely goes full-on psychopath and beats a supervillain to death with his bare fucking hands. And it's like, holy shit, that's an actual dark side for a hero to have.
Yep.
And the fact that Jack Kirby actually changes the way he draws Orion's face depending on which side of him he's in was a great little tidbit that they added.
Yes.
Which is especially funny for Kirby, because I don't mean to knock on Kirby too hard, but Kirby's really only capable of drawing 3 faces.
Oh yeah, I agree. Believe me, I've emulated his work enough that I've noticed that he's got only a select few phases that he uses. Like most artists do, though, so I won't knock him too hard.
Yeah, most of them do. Outside of the rare freak asses like Alex Ross, where Alex Ross just I'm not convinced Alex Ross isn't capable of just taking pictures with his brain and then transmitting them to the page.
Yeah, he's on another level. It's like crazy the stuff he can do.
Like, even if you hate the Kingdom Come storyline, but you need to read the entire Kingdom Come book just for the fucking art. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Like, it might be the best comic book art I've ever seen. It's a rough thing to say, but it's definitely up there.
yep.
But Addy, what have you been trying to say for the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm missing from the Fantastic Four are Doctor Doom and the Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer's cool. I'm a fan of Surfer. I don't think Pink is, but I'm
Well, yeah, but the only reason I want the Silver Surfer as well is because he brings in Galactus, among other things.
Oh yeah, he brings Galactus.
cool.
Yep.
That's the part people love about Fantastic Four, not the Fantastic Four themselves, just the two big villains, Doom and Galactus.
Yep. But everybody wants Galactus as a new Avengers villain, and they're forgetting that the Fantastic Four was where Galactus started. Like, kind of pains me.
It's gonna be a bit weird from here on out because Tony and Cap are leaving, absolutely, but Marvel has said that the Avengers will continue after Infinity War Part 2. And it's just like, how?
Galactus resets
I'm
time.
telling you, they've got their younger talents there. You know, Bucky and Rhodey, and not Rhodey as much, but and Sam.
Yeah,
Like
they're younger
you've got all
talent.
these newer
younger-
characters, and they've still got ideas, and they've still got more people in their universe that they can use. Like we've
Right, but-
still potentially got Nova in the sidelines here. Greatest
How is-
character ever.
Right, but Nova's more of a Guardian than an Avenger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which the Guardians are also going to be weird because they're going to keep going, and it's not going to be any of.
Oh, right.
It's going to be fucking.
By the
It's
way,
going to be fucking Adam Warlock and probably Quasar and Moondragon
Star
and Nova,
Fox.
and it's going to be real weird.
Yeah. Nebula might stick with them though, because I don't know how popular that actor is. I'm not even sure who the actor is, to be honest, but she's one on the sidelines that they could use as well, much like Bucky and the others.
I think Nebula has to end with the Gamora Thanos because that defines her entire character. What's she going to do after she no longer needs vengeance on Gamora and Thanos?
That's a good point.
The answer to that question is die. I don't know. What were you about to say, Addy?
1 second, I need to find a picture.
I can't see them involving Star Fox. Well, I'm saying this again. I said it earlier. I can't see them involving Star Fox after Thanos is dead because the major aspect of Star Fox's character is that he's Thanos' brother.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of the whole thing of ending Steve Rogers, ending Tony Stark, ending Thanos is going to end the major arcs of so many Marvel characters and cut the potential for so many others.
Yeah.
There is new potential. I mean, with comic books, there's always new potential.
Yeah.
And
And there's always a multiverse they can crawl into now with Doctor Strange, now that that movie confirmed the multiverse exists, so they can always go and find a good Hawkeye.
They could dip into the multiverse, but I don't think they will because they'll feel like it's kind of cheap for the audience. Like comic books are different from movies. For movies, it'll feel cheap if they dip into the multiverse.
Absolutely, but I'm still wanting my Hawkeye.
Right, X-Men is already the Fox universe is already dipping into the multiverse, and it's people are losing their fucking minds because it's like, what universe does Logan fit into? What universe does Deadpool fit into? What universe is Dark Phoenix gonna fit into? What the fuck? Legion. What universe is Legion in?
Well, they had to institute the multiverse because they screwed everything up so bad.
Oh my god.
Alright, I found the picture. Go ahead.
As much as I love Logan, Logan definitely is the one who screws it the worst because it's set in the fucking future. Like in 2027 or something, while everything else is just trying to be set in the same universe but with differing timelines or something. Fuck.
Yeah.
And I saw that earlier. It was amazing. When Soon first got back from the movie, that is the image that I sent to him. I love that. There's an even better picture I saw the other day. I'll have to give me a second to see if I've still got it. But the thing I love there is the positions they're all in. Because I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but they're saying that Infinity War 2 is going to be set after a time skip, which that's kind of strange.
That is kind of strange.
But my question is, Rocket's left with everyone else on Earth. Are we going to have the time skip to years later, and Rocket's just kind of been living with like Cap or somebody? Like I want it to. I want.
How long is Stark gonna be sitting on Titan?
That's the other question. Are Stark and
He's
Nebula
all alone with Nebula.
Like
It can't be a good time.
I want the movie to open on Stark and Nebula just wandering around on Titan, and Stark's trying to do his usual, charm thing, maybe trying to put the moves on Gamora. I mean, not Gamora. Nebula. Nebula's just like, you're a fucking idiot. This is all your fault. Go to hell. Like her usual Nebula routine of telling everybody to fuck off.
That might be why I like Nebula so much.
Yeah, it's a big part of what's fun about the Nebula character, absolutely. Oh my god, I still have the picture, yes. Okay, yeah. I'll bring it up while I continue talking. Well, no, I can't because my keyboard's too fucking loud. I still haven't got it replaced. Jesus Christ. But the other thing I should note is, the other thing I want to see is I want to see like it goes into Cap's apartment or Tony's mansion or something, and you just see a bed, like a cat bed or a dog bed on the floor, but it's labeled Rocket. And Rocket's arguing with him like, "Hey, you can't do this to me. This is humiliating. I'm a fully sentient creature. I can carry an assault rifle. This is humiliating."
Yeah.
All right, I'm muting the mic for a little bit while I go get the picture. You continue to talk about something.
All right. What else did you have to say about Infinity War?
I don't remember.
I will say that once they kill off Tom Hiddleston, I was ready to get up and leave. It's like, I am unabashedly a Loki fan, and I was quite disappointed that he died 6 minutes in.
Yeah, I was disappointed as well. That's why I was waiting. Like, he is the trickster god. So I was half expecting him to.
I love that picture. It's really great because I showed the picture to my family and it made them sad. Just an entire movie of Rocket roaming around in space, depressed, eating ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, can I mention something though while I'm thinking about it?
Yeah.
Did anyone else think that when they go to nowhere and Drax and Mantis go after Thanos and he turns them both into basically spaghetti, was anyone else like, "Oh my god, Drax and Mantis are dead"?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought that was the end for them. I thought they were going to kill him off right there. Pretty stoked at that thought because I was like, that's incredible that they would just kill off these characters in not a climactic way or anything, just in this random ass part of the movie. But then they brought him back, and I was like, okay, I can do it.
Yeah, but those were callbacks to when Thanos did the same to, I want to say, well, Star Fox for one, I know that for sure, but the other one was,
Oh, yes.
I think Nebula and Star Fox.
Nebula was turned into a like zombie-esque husk, but that was what he did to Star Fox. He turned Star Fox into the Drax noodle, and when he diced up Mantis, and I forget who did he do that to. Did he dice up Hulk? Oh man, my memory isn't great. But what was I going to say? Fuck. Well, yeah, the other side to Pink's argument, like there is the one side saying like it would be a great way to show how that he just kills Drax and Mantis without moving. But on the other hand, it would be such a disrespectful send-off for both of those characters.
Speaking of disrespectful,
Yeah, absolutely.
speaking of disrespectful send-off and Drax dying. Drax dying.
Because, like, well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing Pink's saying here, though. I want to bring it up just because, like, Pink, what you're advocating that for there, though, is basically the same thing as Wasp getting eaten by the Blob during Ultimatum. Just a character going out in the worst way possible. Like, don't get me wrong, I get that what you're arguing for there with Thanos, but I'd say that the downside is far worse.
Yeah, I can definitely agree there. I didn't think the Mantis death would stick because they just brought her in. It's like, I'd imagine she's going to be a big part of their cast going forward. Like,
Probably not.
They definitely weren't going to. What's that?
Probably not, because Mantis is kind of a nothing character.
Yeah, but so is everyone else, if you think about it.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah,
Gamora definitely, but well, Gamora wasn't a nothing character in the comics, but they've turned her into a nothing character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't think the Drax death would stick just because I didn't see Dave Bautista not going all the way in Infinity War.
Yeah, Batista would be one of the easiest ones to pay for in terms of contract. So Batista would probably be one they'd want to keep around just because he's cheap and because the audience loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, everybody loves Drax.
But
It's impossible not to like him. He's such a lovable idiot.
He did the slow moving thing. The whole theater erupted. Aside from me, because I don't laugh. I just.
He said as he chuckled.
No, I mean I do chuckle and push more air out of my nostrils, but like I don't loudly laugh. Aside from
You're not boisterous.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't laugh at Drax's statements. I didn't laugh until Mantis and said, "Hi, Drax," and Drax just goes, "Damn it."
Yeah, that's what made me chuckle as well. Like everybody laughed at him just slowly moving, but when he gives up is when I laughed.
Yeah.
I don't think I posted this on the forum, but I did tell my family this at the end of Infinity War. I was saying, did Drax die at the end, or was he just standing still?
Yep. I saw somebody like make a post. Here's to all the heroes that we didn't get to see during Infinity War, and it was like a picture of Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Valkyrie, and then Drax.
But
Speaking of Valkyrie, she's fucking dead, right?
I actually saw a thing where they said that she wasn't.
I mean, she can't be because they wouldn't have killed her off screen. But still, what are the fucking odds? That she would be among the half that her, Korg, and the weird little slime thing, Mike, would all be among the half that gets spared. Because they ain't killing Korg either, because audiences fucking loved Korg.
Korg sucked.
Oh, I mostly don't like Korg. There are Korg lines that I liked, but I think most of them being forced too hard to be quirky.
Yeah. So I didn't hate Korg, but I wouldn't be sad to see him go. I wouldn't want him to return either, though. Like, I just don't care. Like, he worked enough in Ragnarok, but I wouldn't want to see him come back.
I wouldn't want to see any of the Sakaar stuff from Ragnarok come back, except for maybe Valkyrie. I liked Valkyrie enough.
Yeah, I like Valkyrie as well.
Because she's barely a hero, but she's more so just a broken alcoholic.
Yeah.
She's like if Tony had never stopped.
Good point.
I'm going to save the day, but let me get this drink first. Yeah, Ragnarok. Yeah. The fact that we're going to get 3 more Ragnaroks probably is more painful.
Yeah, they're just going to keep calling him Ragnarok as well.
Ragnarok never ends.
No, it will be like Rambo. So it'll be Thor
Ragnarok 2.
Yeah, it will be Thor part 3, Ragnarok part 2, and then it will just be Ragnarok 4.
If Thor goes away, it's just Valkyrie and Korg going through space.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that should just be Ragnarok 2. Valkyrie and Korg being like, well, Jesus, Thanos blew up our ship, killed half our people.
Yeah.
Thor fucked off to another galaxy. What are we supposed to do? Korg
And watch them become Guardians next.
Korg and Valkyrie just arguing about the next place to go because Korg's like, let's go to this place and get some more paper for some more posters. And Valkyrie's like, no, let's go to this bar. We've run out of alcohol on the ship. It's an emergency.
They need to refuel, but Valkyrie spends all of the money on space booze.
Yeah, Korg says to Valkyrie, hey, we need to refuel the ship. And then Valkyrie says, hey, I need fuck you. Valkyrie and Machine Man meet and they just become instant best friends.
Perfect.
I don't know. So overall, you'd say you enjoyed Infinity War, Addy?
Yeah, I'd say I did.
And Pink, you'd say you enjoyed Infinity War?
I think I absolutely loved Infinity War. One of my favorite parts about it was at the very end, when they have the credits that roll and say X person will return. They put Thanos will return. And you're like, oh shit.
And the entire
it doesn't even give you any hope. It's like the audience that I was sitting in, they all left quiet, which never happens at a Marvel movie. Because it was such a crazy ending. It's like nobody over there could process it properly.
Dude, it might have had less of an effect for Addy because it's worth noting. Every Marvel movie prior to this has had like really creative credits with big music and big showing effects and all that. This was just plain Times New Roman white text over a black background with no music. And it just says, the bad guy's coming back, by the way. Prepare to get fucked even harder.
Yeah, so it's not a thing over here. It's not a thing to stay for after the credits, even though we know that there's an after-roll scene. So I don't think anybody in the theater saw it. Because I forgot and everybody else left. So
that ending text, instead of saying Thanos will return, it should have just said the Thanos fuck train has no brakes.
By the way, this is a thing that I forgot to mention, but because I watched it in Hungarian, of course, it had a Hungarian name, which instead of being Avengers Infinity War was actually Revengers Infinite Warfare. No, it was actually Infinite War. It was Infinite War, but yeah.
I thought you were about to say Revengers Endless Hustle, and I was going to say, you made that up, you fuck.
Revengers Infinite Warfare. Just COD. It's just freaking COD.
You thought you were fighting Thanos, but instead you're fighting Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Instead of having to hide the Infinity Stones, they have to hide Spider-Man. Pedophilia jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both of you just dropped stone silent, and I was like, I made a mistake. I fucked up. Not as bad as Kevin Spacey did, but...
Yeah, not at all. From start to finish, Infinity War was just a really good movie. I love that it started with a very somber music score. Like, you knew you were getting into something really, really messed up when it had started.
Well, you knew we were getting started on something messed up when it opens on the shot of a corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I thought that the movie started in medias res at the start.
Oh no. Thanos works very efficiently, Addy. Thanos works from beginning to end. He isn't the kind to just wait until the end and get his work done all at the end of the day. Oh no. Oh my God. It's just the most impressive thing about the movie is that they had the balls to make an entire superhero movie that is just about the villain running train on everybody.
Yeah. I love it, though.
Thanos never stops. He is just whooping everybody's asses. But Addy's introduction to so many of these heroes is them getting their asses handed to them. By the way, I don't know if we've mentioned it. That fucking Doctor Strange versus Thanos fight.
That was cool.
That that might have been the best scene in the entire movie.
I think Doctor Strange stole the show for me. Like his movie was already probably one of my favorites, up with Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah, but
But the more he's on screen, it's like the more he becomes my favorite MCU character ever.
well, it's like part of this whole funny thing with the original Doctor Strange movie. The magic itself that Doctor Strange was being introduced to was the mind fuck, but most of Doctor Strange's powers that he himself had were pretty easy to comprehend, right?
Yeah.
He just made laser swords, and every now and then he could walk on walls or fly, right? And that was it.
Yeah.
The powers we see in Doctor Strange's fight versus Thanos is where Doctor Strange is controlling the mind fuck.
Yes.
The part where he gets 8 or 12 arms and then becomes 20 different people is like, whoa, man. That is the original Doctor Strange comics that's what made Doctor Strange famous, was that crazy shit of what magic could be.
Yes.
Yeah, whenever Strange was on the screen, I was looking forward to what crazy gang signs he's gonna do to do magic.
When the preview showed, I don't remember if you remember, the very, very first previews of Infinity War, but the first scenes they showed was the bit where Doctor Strange makes platforms for Star-Lord to jump from platform to platform while shooting at Thanos. And I was worried that was all that Doctor Strange was going to do, and I was so wrong.
Support character.
Oh, yeah, totally. I think the best pick...
In the middle of the fight, he did become Zenyatta.
Completely, yes, absolutely. That might have been the best part of the entire scene, because that was just a neat little kind of Eastern mystic origins of the character, you know?
Yep.
And there is one part in particular I really, really love about that. Is where earlier in the movie where Thanos forces Star-Lord to shoot Gamora, but he just turns Star-Lord's bullets into bubbles.
Oh, yeah.
How Doctor Strange does the same thing to Thanos when he turns Thanos' projectiles into pigeons. And it's great to see Thanos' shit thrown back at him.
Yeah.
And it kind of runs into the whole issue of, isn't Doctor Strange pretty much omnipotent anyway? That's what happens when Doctor Strange fights the Infinity Gauntlet.
He's a little too OP. They had to nerf him in this movie.
Well, it's kind of like the whole thing of Doctor Strange being near omnipotent, but the Infinity Gauntlet is just a little bit more omnipotent, which is pretty much the same role in the comics.
I think I didn't understand about it all is how Strange couldn't teleport, because they did it with what's his face? I forgot.
Strange can teleport.
Then why didn't he just teleport to Titan and back?
Why didn't he just teleport to Titan and back? What are you referring to?
They made it into a big problem where they needed to use Thanos' ship for Tony and Spider-Man and Strange to get to Titan. But if Strange can teleport, like they did it with they teleported the guy whose head they cut off. Why couldn't he just open a portal, go through that, and then...
I think the simplest explanation would be that he doesn't know where Titan is located.
Well, firstly that, but also the reason they got on the ship was because they had abducted Doctor Strange. The intention wasn't to go to Titan. That's just where the ship landed.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Tony weren't going after Titan. They were going after Strange.
Well, yeah, but after that, they act like they have no idea how to return to the Earth, and
maybe they...
Or
maybe Strange didn't have his sling ring on him.
Well, they were making the plan. They were cracking up the plan, and they figured, let's stay on Titan and fight Thanos on Titan, because Thanos is probably going to... That's where Doctor Strange is going to be. Because he probably told his guys, take Strange to Titan.
I just assumed that, once Thanos beats all of them up for 15 minutes, or Strange would open up a portal and at least shove through two guys through it.
Well, they wanted as much manpower as they could get in the fight. I mean, the more questionable part is why didn't the guys think of a plan, let's get all of the Avengers here to fight Thanos. But at the same time, they needed to protect Vision on Earth. And like that's why they had to divide the team in two.
Also, Vision
Because like
was useless.
Vision was totally useless because that was the entire idea. Vision fight because if Vision gets in the fight, then they lose. Because the instant that Vision and Thanos were in the same fucking mile of each other, the entire thing was lost. Because Thanos just picked the stone out of Vision's head and put it in the gauntlet.
I'd
Also,
like to point out that Vision died twice in one movie.
I was just about to say that Vision got it the hardest out of anyone. Like first Wanda blows his head up, and then Thanos takes out his main power source.
You'd think it were an actual Marvel comic.
Yeah, yeah, it fits because in the comics it is always Vision that gets hardest for some reason. Like Vision really just needs to give up someday because he just gets fucked every other year.
Just retire, live a nice suburban lifestyle.
He tried to do that, and Victor Mancha blew up his kid.
Maybe go into sleep mode, like a good television.
Well, even then, something bad would happen. Like Ultron would probably
Yeah,
He'd become rusted.
Ultron would just wake him up. Yeah.
I think
Oh
the
my-
rest is the least of his problems.
If you are anyone related to Hank Pym, like anyone in that family line, like just give up. Just kill yourself because God hates you. It's kind of the funny thing. Just to mention, like upon thinking through Wanda's marriage to Vision, that also in the entirety of Magneto's family
cut out.
is related to the Pyms. Through Wanda's marriage to Vision, then the entirety of the Magneto family, the Jer family, is also related to the Pyms.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that explains Magneto and Quicksilver's bad luck in the last couple of years. Now, do they relate to the Summers family and the Summers Gray family? Anyway,
They might as well.
because
I'm not
Like,
sure
if-
which ones get it worse.
the Pyms or the Summers, oh boy.
also,
And
what
it's
yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of like the whole thing with Pym and Summers, because in both of those cases, Hank and Scott, it's both partially their own fault.
Yeah.
Like half the bad shit that happens to Hank Pym would not happen. Half the bad shit that happens to Scott Summers would not happen if Scott wasn't a jackass. Well, Scott's less of a jackass, more of just an asshole.
But yeah, now
What were you saying?
now that Marvel has the rights to X-Men again, do they?
Not
Not
until
X-Men.
2020.
But yeah, how many movies do you reckon it will take for them to explain Jean Grey?
Well, here's the thing. Some people are theorizing that they're having what's-her-face, Sansa Stark, take over his genes just so they can use that as the explanation for why the X-Men and Marvel are going to cross over.
No, but I mean, just explain her character as freaking, I am Jean Grey, then I am evil now, I am Phoenix, and then I become freaking a supernova.
It will depend on whether they go with the classic
again.
interpretation of Jean or the modern interpretation of Jean. It will depend. Because the classic, like if any of you have read the Dark Phoenix original storyline,
Yeah.
like, the Phoenix was not an independent entity. The Phoenix was just the name that Jean took whenever she tapped into her bigger powers. Like it wasn't that the Phoenix was some great cosmic entity that had possessed her. It's just that Jean was just that fucking powerful. Because here's the thing, Jean has telekinesis. Marvel has displayed repeatedly that if you are strong enough with telekinesis, you're capable of using telekinesis on the molecular level. Telekinesis on the molecular level is fucking broken. Because you can just reshape everything in reality as you see fit. That chair is now a person. And that person is now a chair.
And the dark side
She
is
does
stealing
whatever-
it.
Yeah. And the Dark Phoenix was because the power was all going to her head. And also because the Hellfire Club was fucking with her mind. Who was that old Brotherhood of Mutants member that was fucking with her?
Mastermind.
Mastermind. Oh, there's a classic character.
Yeah. Jason
wonder why-
Wingard.
I wonder why he gets left out of all the adaptation. because he's a fucking old rapist. And it was like a mix of Jason Wingard's manipulations and her own ego getting big. And the Dark Phoenix was honestly just Jean going fucking nuts and being like, I'm a god now. Fuck everyone else. And that was pretty much the comic. And later retcons have been like, oh, the Phoenix is a cosmic entity scale of like Lady Death or the Celestials.
Yeah.
Which was not how it was in the original storyline. Which the
original storyline was just so popular that they had to keep doing Dark Phoenix over and over and over again.
Oh my god. I wonder how it is for someone who goes into the Dark Phoenix comic book storyline fresh. Because it must be an amazing storyline to them. But for me, as someone who's been a big fan of the X-Men and tries to get into nearly every adaptation they've had, I am so sick to death of the Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I was fortunate that I was able to read saga before seeing any other interpretations of it. And I was done with the Dark Phoenix saga by the second interpretation. Like, you can have the original, anything else is not worth looking into.
Yeah, I read the original and I was like, okay, this is way better put together than most of the Dark Phoenix storylines. But I've seen the Dark Phoenix storyline happen so many times that it's just hitting the same notes.
Yeah.
The really only different thing is that in most interpretations of the Dark Phoenix storyline, for some reason it's Wolverine that kills Jean. For some fucking reason that I can't figure out. Whereas in the original comic book, Jean commits suicide in the end. Which is a way better ending to the Dark Phoenix storyline and the Jean character.
Yeah.
Because the good side ultimately wins and kills her so that the evil side can't come back. Which, I mean, admittedly, she is the Phoenix. It's kind of part of the name that she comes back. She dies anyway.
Yeah.
that's one part of people bitching about Jean always coming back after dying that I never understood. It's like she's literally named the fucking Phoenix.
You didn't see this coming?
Like, have you ever heard about the myth of the Phoenix? Because it's a big part of Phoenixes that they die and then come back. It bothers me less that Jean dies, not that Jean comes back after dying. It bothers me more that Jean dies every 5 years.
I can agree with that.
She just needs a vacation and kills herself.
And the thing that bothers me even more is the one time Jean died and Scott and Emma had sex on her grave.
Ah.
That's one of the great things of having Pink as the bigger Marvel fanboy here is I can bring up stupid Marvel moments like Emma Frost's entire existence.
Yes.
I almost kind of like Emma Frost. I almost kind of like Emma Frost in the regard she's a villain who finally figured out that the villains never win. So she's just like, okay, I'm going to be a hero now because the hero. So hey, play for the winning side. Why not?
Yeah, I cannot stand Emma Frost. She's a big part of why I stopped reading X-Men at all. Modern X-Men.
Oh, did you read the run that came immediately after that, the Joss Whedon run? That pretty much spends the entirety of it with Kitty Pryde being like, Emma Frost is the worst person ever.
Yeah.
What? I'm a character who likes Emma Frost for what an asshole she is. And even I thought it was fucking therapeutic having that entire scene of Kitty just beating the absolute shit out of Emma. Like one of the absolute worst beatdowns I've ever seen. What am I thinking of? It's like the scene where you actually get the character who's just so pissed and is beating a person to a bloody pulp. That is honestly the full scene. And the fact that Kitty does it in such a creative way is awesome. Because she just... It's the thing about Kitty is that she's really an overpowered character. She's really an overpowered character when you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
She can't be hurt. Like, technically psychics can go after her, but apparently they can't go after her. If she's in a wall, she's safe against psychics even. So she just sits in the wall and grabs Emma Frost by the fucking neck and makes her face plant into the wall repeatedly. And it's awesome. Comic books vary between the worst and the best.
Yep. A lot like wrestling.
Yep.
It's all about wrestling boots as well.
Yeah. What are we sitting at for the time on this, Addy?
3.5 hours.
Holy shit. That is way too long for it. Thankfully, I don't think we're gonna have to edit this. I wasn't there for the first hour or so I can't speak for that. But you should probably just be able to clean up the beginning and the end a little bit and probably then upload it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Like I said, I want to make it where we don't have to have any parts that need to get edited out so that we can just upload it the next day and we're actually on time.
Yeah, that would be spectacular.
All right, so Infinity War is awesome. There's a lot of fighting game talk that I wasn't there for, and
There's
yeah,
still
that's the
what, yeah,
podcast.
there's still what we did last
Oh
week.
my God, you are right. Okay, 4-hour podcast. Let's go. Because I actually have done some shit this week.
Yeah, Pig's done his, I think. Like, oh right.
One thing I did want to touch on, because I didn't get to say this, I actually went back. Paladins had its final release. It's not a beta anymore. I gave it another shot.
Still
I
ass.
still don't think it's all that good.
Yep, it's one of those situations where you polish a turd, right?
Yeah. The gameplay is still very fast paced and frantic and doesn't feel right. And like the modes, the payload mode, it just doesn't ever feel right.
It just felt so wrong, especially when you're playing as certain characters, because the characters in that game are not designed very well.
No.
Did you get to play as the Groot character?
Yes.
He is the most awkward thing to play as, isn't he?
Yes. His axes frustrate me to this very day for the sheer reason that I have no idea where they come from.
Like, they come from nowhere. He pulls them out of his ass. His ass is an axe generator. And the thing of, like, having slow projectiles that you have to have some on is nothing new. Like, there's characters like the Soldier in TF2 or Pharah in Overwatch that their projectiles take forever, so they have to put some more lead on their shots. But there's a payoff there, because both of them, they fire rockets, and rockets have big AoE explosions. So there is a little bit more, give room, so you don't have to be totally accurate. And also you have the chance to deal damage to multiple people. But throwing axes is still a slow projectile, but it doesn't make an AoE. And it doesn't deal very much damage either. So it's like unnecessary difficulty for like not very much reward.
Yep.
Why does this exist? I guess to encourage you to be more close quarters, but the character doesn't seem very close quarters.
Yeah. Like, I don't think any of those characters are close quarters, because if you get too close, you're probably already dead.
Well, there is the horribly stereotypical Hispanic knight with the flamethrower.
Yeah, that's a good point, but he's better kept on the objective, if you can see the objective.
Also, what's the point of setting up an Overwatch-esque game if you have no melee characters? Because, I mean, several of the characters in Overwatch, melee is a big part of them. Like Reinhardt and Torbjorn's daughters being the most obvious ones, of course.
Yeah.
But Genji, melee is a big thing because he's got that sword dash. And who else? Who is it that I'm forgetting?
Doomfist. Doomfist is a melee character almost entirely.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because that shotgun of his is terrible. Those knuckles shotgun blasts, just, God, why?
Yeah.
Doomfist's weird because he's the only FPS character I've ever seen who has a fucking combo system.
Yeah.
Like there's no combo counter or meter, but it's a combo system. But, oof, yeah, Paladins. I can't imagine they actually introduced anything to make it update. I'd imagine they just said, "Hey, it's finished. We felt like it was finished today, so it's finished."
Yep. I feel like that's exactly what they did.
I would not be surprised. Let's see. And is that all you've done?
I believe it is, because I've already touched up on my stuff.
All right, I got a bit to go over. Addy, do you want to go ahead of me or do you want to go after?
Nah, I can go after.
All right. Well, I this week I have finished college finals. Thank fucking God.
Hooray!
So that means I have actual free time to play with you guys and actually record stuff for my own channel finally. So I'm probably gonna be putting my own channel under a bit of a renovation because I've still got a big goofy looking Joker banner over the top.
I can make
Which
you a
looks
new
fucking
one
dumb.
if you want.
No, I think I'll just replace it with something bland. For now, I mean. I'll probably I'm I'm considering recording one Total Warhammer session or playthrough just before the big update at the end of this month. But that would be like a solid 20 hours of footage overall because Total Warhammer games last long. So I might end up doing that. I might just streaming. I might do nothing at all until the update launches. I do want to get into recording Psychonauts, but that one may be a bit difficult because that is a dialogue-heavy game. I may end up recording Resident Evil 4 if I can figure out XPad or something to make the controller work. Because Resident Evil 4 isn't a very dialogue-heavy game experience with, so I won't just blow my ass out. And it's still a very fun game. And Soon is messaging me right now saying I should try Warframe, so maybe I'll record Warframe. Hey, I'm looking for something to record. Oh, look at that, Warframe.
It's a sign. Straight
It's a
from the
sign.
heavens.
Yep.
It's free, so we can play together on Xbox.
It is on Xbox One, but I think Soon wants me to play it with him on PC or PlayStation 4.
Play
what else is
S4.
there? Play S4. Look, okay, I've got like no sleep. Shut up. What else is there? I have played a game this week that was a single player game, and I didn't play it with you guys. I can't remember what it was, but I have. Oh, I did play Street Fighter 5 as well, but I don't think that's it. But Street Fighter 5 still a lot of fun. I'm still on the fence whether or not to buy Season 3 now or what later. Because it's like such a hard thing. Because I like G so much. I like Sagat so much. I like Sakura so much. And even though I hate Blanca's character, I like his playstyle. And I like Cody's character, but I'm not into his playstyle. But I $30 for 6 characters is nuts. I don't know. What else was there? I did play a little bit of Warhammer 2 since I finally had free time. Playing Kalita, the High Queen Kalita for the time. She's a decent bit of fun. She's a little bit of awkward because she sits like in a clusterfuck area where she's got the lizard men on one side, the vampires on it, with Skaven on another, all bearing down on her. So it kind of sucks to be her for a little bit. But at the same time, once she really gets rolling, it's very nice for her because she pretty much owns the entire southeast corner of the map. So she doesn't have to worry about getting flanked or nothing. And I always feel a little bit, whenever I talk about Warhammer 2, I feel like Addy talking about Sengoku Basara because I can feel both of you tuning out. Which is why I try not to talk about it too much. I'm gonna have to look into buying. If either of you guys get actual PCs, I'll have to look into buying you guys a copy of Warhammer 2 because it's a good fucking game.
I mean, if you have me buy a PC.
Well, hey, Addy, you can buy a PC once you take over the country of Hungary and conquer most of Eastern Europe. Maybe around that time you can scrounge together the money for a PC. Let's see. And of course, we've been playing a ton of games together. We've been playing Street Fighter 4. We're getting better at it, I think.
I can only hope.
Yeah, we were actually recorded a session, and then the footage blew the fuck up. So we're gonna have to record another one. But the good thing is that recording a new session after we've practiced means we're going to be a little bit less embarrassing.
Maybe for you guys.
I don't know. You're honing in hard on
But
You're also playing Sea Viper, right?
yeah, I actually am because like she's the best character.
Sea, Vi- Sea Viper is such a Sea Viper is a character that I'm still not sure about because I kind of want to dislike her because she doesn't fit into the roster because everyone else is like a martial artist with superpowers, and Sea Viper is just a secret agent with weird gadgets, and that doesn't fit to me. But at the same time, her and Jury are probably the only new characters in SF4 that aren't the fucking worst.
It's only just
Which Addy
Jerry,
knows what.
and she was ruined.
Well, they ruined Jury pretty hard in SF5. I keep trying to learn SF5 Jury, and it's near impossible.
Yeah.
I
For the
mean,
most part, I play Viper sarcastically because I knew you and Addie hated her.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I hate her. There are characters on the SF4 roster I hate. I hate Rufus. I hate Rufus. I hate El Fuerte because he's a Mexican guy, but his moves are named Tortilla, Quesadilla, fucking Nachos. What the fuck is this character design? And there's Abel, who I actually kind of like Abel in an odd way, but because Abel is the most bland, lazy character design I've ever seen. Like, he's a French guy. He's tough. That's it. Oh, who else did they even introduce in that game? Hakan. I love Hakan's playstyle because he's a command grappler, but at the same time, he's the fucking dumbest. He's a bright red guy with blue hair who spends all his time talking about oil.
They introduced Tony, I guess.
They did introduce Oni, and then immediately cannibalized Oni
You cut out.
and then they immediately cannibalized Oni for 5 Akuma.
I mean, I'm
So,
fine with it because Oni was just Akuma, using his full potential or whatever.
except that the character actually was way worse on the tier list than Akuma. Like, Oni actually, I think, shot to the bottom of the tier list almost immediately, which is incredible because that is usually Zangief's spot. Poor Zangief. Except in SF5 where Zangief is fucking. Jesus. I'm cutting out real bad here. What the fuck's going on? What else was there? Well, we played Sea of Thieves. We had some fun with that. We recorded 3 hours, which was our fun, and then we uninstalled the game because that's what Sea of Thieves is for.
He's getting a private roaming system.
Yeah. Too little, too late there. KOF, we recorded some. Addy beat our asses. We'll probably be uploading that. Addy and I recorded Garo, and I think I had 2 victories in that. And Addy had about 15. And were my only victories with Rock and Butt?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that figures. I may have won one of the Freeman matches. I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Maybe. And we recorded. Oh, I did win the T-Zoc match, didn't I?
I don't remember. All I don't remember is the Teaser Mirror match happening.
We recorded Garo.
By the
We'll
way,
probably upload that.
Nubia, Teaser becomes king of
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
Oh, I know that.
I didn't.
That's one of the big things about playing. One of the big things that interests me about KOF 14 is that T-Zoc is back, but not really. But also he's back, but he's kind of, but not. But yes. Yeah. So we're gonna upload that. We recorded KOF 9. We recorded Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. I didn't like it, but we're still uploading it. Oh, what else was we recorded something else? Oh, we tried to record Borderlands. It's a mess. Borderlands, the original Borderlands is not a good game. It really isn't. Maybe I'm alone there, but I just don't like the original Borderlands.
I was crapping all over Borderlands before you got here, so say what you want.
Oh, goody.
The only Borderlands game I had fun with was the pre-sequel, and it's widely hated by the fans.
I wonder why. Oh, Tales from the Borderlands is incredible. You got to agree with us on that.
Yeah,
I had some fun with Borderlands 2, but Borderlands 2 has way more fun characters. Because one of the worst things about Borderlands 1 is the main characters themselves are very, very bland. In Borderlands 2, you can play a 5 foot tall man named Salvador who pulls out 2 machine guns and starts screaming about compensation. And of course you can play as Krieg. He pulls out a big axe and starts screaming about meat bicycles.
But he's DLC?
Is he what?
DLC. He is DLC.
Yes, he is. He is DLC, yes. Unfortunately. What else was there? I want to say that I don't think that's all I've done this past week, but that's all I can think of. Fuck. Shit, that's all I can think of. Maybe I'll think of it next week. Addie, you can go ahead and start talking. I need to go to the bathroom really badly because my ass is about to explode. So if I get back and the podcast still going, then I'll contribute to the end. If it just ends without me, then go ahead. But I'm about to get sick here, so
All right.
I'm gonna run.
So yeah, I'm steadily going through the Assassin's Creed books. Still at the second game's book. I'm at the point where he's in Venice. He is in fact physically located in Venice. Other than that,
Hold it.
yeah. Other than that, what else did I do? I played Comic Jumper. It's a 2D beat 'em up / run and gun. It's really your choice, I think, whether you want to try and tackle it close range or long range. It's not a really good game, but yeah, just that. It's basically what's wrong with Deadpool made into a game without Deadpool, so there's not even a brand recognizability. Then what else? I wanted to try and play through Revelations. I've been doing this one playthrough for the past 3 months, but I just can't get myself to actually play Revelations. Because
Yeah, I actually did play the intro to Revelations, but I didn't like it, and I stopped.
the story is not bad. The setting ruins it for me. The setting and how much you need to go between the 2 islands to do just one sequence. Because there are sequences where it's like you need to be on the starter island to do the actual story mission, but if you actually want to finish the sequence, you also need to do the Altair mission, for which you need to go to the second island and find the thing in there, and the second island is 3 times as big as the starter island. So yeah, I didn't do that in the end because
Yeah.
And I've been sick. And that's it, really, I think.
Oh yeah, I've been sick too. Speaking of Smite, part of me actually kind of wants to drop the $30 to unlock all the characters and future characters, but at the same time, I'm real cheapskate, and that part of me doesn't want to drop any money.
Honestly, I'm just not that interested in Smite.
I actually enjoy it. Infinitely superior to Paladins, which is just terrible all around.
Freaking Borderlands is infinitely superior to Paladins.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I kind of like the more realistic games, realistic MOBAs like Siege and For Honor. Just because,
Yeah, I really enjoy Siege.
just because you don't have to have a specific team comp. You can have all Orochis or all just hard breachers. No, I can have the 2 hard breachers and also this and that and still have a chance to win. You
Yeah.
can't really do that in Smite, I don't think.
Yep.
Like,
We're early level, so he could probably do whatever he wanted and not be that far off.
well, yeah, but
Because probably nobody our level knows what they're doing either. But yeah, it is nice to not have a meta that you have to adhere to.
and the problem with For Honor is that I'm the only one out of the three of us who actually cares about it, and I don't care about it that much either. But it's like the one competitive online game that I know that I'm somewhat good at.
Ah.
I mean, I've been doing it. I've been playing it since the beta in whatever free bursts they let you play it in,
Yeah.
and I really like the gameplay. I like the fighting mechanic. The problem is that it's not in a better game, but it does have a story mode and it has co-op and things like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think it's up to 4 people co-op in story mode. The was that neither of you are interested enough in For Honor to actually download it even when it was free.
Oh, yeah, because they had the free weekend, like, what was it, last weekend?
Yeah, and I told all of you about it like 2 days before.
Yep. I said I'd do the free weekend, but then I wouldn't forgot about it. I did say that I wasn't interested in buying it, though. Which kind of really doubly unfortunate now, because now I didn't even get to try it to see if I would potentially like to buy it.
I mean, it's a bit like Siege, only close range.
Ah,
Yeah, the fighting mechanic is this thing where you have heavy and normal attacks, but you also have stances, and which stance you're doing determines how you can block and all that. And parrying is just one button press and things like that. Like, it's not that hard. I mean, I'm sure it's harder with having to deal with lag, but it's getting dedicated servers sometime.
sometime.
Yeah,
Ubisoft remembers.
and it's like I don't know what big games that aren't just 2 person or freaking MMOs that I like, because like I'll play Smite as far as I can, or if I can play as Anubis or somebody who's a lot like Anubis, because I know that I'm good at being Anubis, and like I don't want to move out of my comfort zone, just because if I do move out of my comfort zone, then we will all die. Or if you want, I can't contribute anything to the team because I can only work with with whatever meta that I follow, of trying to attack people while
Yeah.
also be dying in 2 hits. No, it is funny that in For Honor you also have you have these abilities that you unlock like in Smite by levels, but you also unlock different kinds of abilities. So say if you want a static buff, then you can have a static buff, or you can have an active buff that you need to start up, or you can have an ability, and that's just a one thing on of four, one button of four that you can choose in the end.
Oh boy, that is what happens when you go from having a healthy diet to food.
Right, we can actually go back to topic now. Um,
What are you guys talking about? I just heard Addy sounding really bored, monotone, talking about
that's just
buffs.
because I'm sick.
Ah, okay.
I can't explain. I
But
can.
I was talking about Smite, and he's like just falling asleep over there because he's like, no, Smite, no, no, I'm not doing that, man, no. Meanwhile, my Xbox is in a like constant state of telling everybody that I'm playing Smite, even when I'm not.
Yeah, I keep getting my family. The Xbox One is in the living room, and we stream Netflix and Hulu. My family keeps coming and telling me, "Hey, Pink is playing Smite. You should play with your friends." I'm just like, no, he's a grown man. He can play by himself.
One of these days, I'm gonna message your family to let you know to come to the podcast or whatever.
Oh, they totally would. Don't you doubt it. What was I saying? Right. So yes, it's probably too late in the day for Addie to get too much into it. I'll have to see whether or not my family's willing to let the TV go, but think soon, and I could probably get in some time.
I mean, if you don't mind
I
me,
know Stu
Project-
said he wanted
if
to because he posted in the Shut Your Mouth
if
Lounge
you don't mind me
thing
being
like hours ago when we started the podcast.
if you don't mind me silent, I can play today.
Okay, as long as you're good for it. As long as you don't have anything to do tomorrow.
I don't think I have any. I have work, but that's just editing one video together. So because
Uh,
like
all right.
so yeah, I just do that on my time, more or less.
Okay. Yeah, we can go ahead and play Smite after the recording is done, which, yeah, absolutely Soon and I need to get some levels in because, right, like, Assault is the most fun you can have in that game, and right now it sucks not having it properly.
By the way, I got to like level 2 with Anubis.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm having Anubis offs with random people. Finn can tell you that because
Yeah,
Anubis is in the free circulation. Everybody wants to test them on me for whatever reason. So I just kill every dog
yeah. Addy makes it a point to make sure that he's a superior Anubis on the
of the
field.
alpha male.
Well, the thing about having an Anubis versus Anubis fight is just two Anubis, because nearly every Anubis move requires him to stand still. So it's just two dudes standing there punching each other until one of them falls
Looking
down.
at each other menacingly.
Until one falls
Yeah.
down.
Anyway, so to finish up what I did last week, I finished Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, so that ending, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't waiting. Like, I spoiled myself years ago on Bioshock and the big twist and all that, but I thought that you'd go through actually becoming Comstock and then die.
Whew. Yeah, that's not what you get. That's not what you get at all. The Infinite, like, I don't like Infinite at all. And Bioshock should have stopped with the first. I think just about everybody can agree with it. Ordinarily, I'm not the kind of guy to be like, oh, I hate franchises. Oh, franchises, they're the worst. But like Bioshock is one series that should have stopped with the first one. Really badly. Like it's just I don't know. Maybe there's people that like the latter two Bioshocks, and I'm sure they have their own thing. But whatever. But yeah, what was the? I want to hear what if you agree with this. Infinite has the biggest issue of all the Bioshock games with every enemy as a bullet sponge.
I agree, though I haven't played. Well, technically, I have played both of the Bioshocks. Only the problem is that I couldn't play through the first two because I don't like Bioshock's control schemes. So in Infinite, I switched it to Marksman because that's just what FPSs usually use. And the first two games don't have that option. Well, the first releases don't have it.
Changed it to what?
Marksman. That's what they call the normal FPS control scheme.
Oh, so like Halo or something controls?
Just your run of the mill any FPS in the world control scheme.
So Call of Duty controls then,
Yeah,
maybe?
pretty much.
Okay.
And I liked it like that. I had myself a marksman rifle and also a sniper rifle. The marksman rifle worked as a machine gun because it fired as fast as I could pull the trigger, which is what I like. And then the sniper rifle, I just killed everybody at medium to long range with headshots because I had the sensitivity turned out to 9. So if I fought it in the general direction of the controller, it just turned 360 degrees.
Hmm.
I like it like that. Like I like it. I like my sensitivity up high, so I can make delicate movements and also real overbearing ones easily.
I guess I get that.
But yeah, I tried starting up the first game and the second game, but they didn't have the option to switch the control scheme nor to assign your own buttons. So I just
It,
said I just thought that I'd buy the re-release because I just assumed that that has the option to change the control scheme.
it is crazy when modern video games come that don't allow you to change the control scheme. Don't allow you to change the button setups. That's the weirdest, worst thing, and I can't figure it out
Yeah.
why it happens still to this day. I would think maybe it's a coding thing. I don't know. It couldn't be just something that they don't think of, right?
Who knows?
But
Yeah, aside from that, I also gave a chance to what is it? Freaking Dark Souls.
which one?
The remastered version of the first one. I'm in the beta.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably the best one, at least to me. Because I've played Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 2 is really like slippy and controls just really badly, which doesn't make any sense because it's fucking Dark Souls. That's a game you want to control as tightly as possible. Because if the game messes up one of your commands, then you get fucked.
So yeah, in the beta that I'm in, which is just a network test, which is why it's an open closed beta. It's weird. Anyway, in it, there's like one long hallway that you can go through, and that's about it, I think. Or at least it didn't get much farther. I have to say that,
That
yeah,
that's very strange. That's just a long corridor because they're not
it's not that it's
interesting. Like, how would they even stress test? Like, I get that they were to stress test servers, but how would they get multiple people to just play a
it's
corridor?
not one corridor. I'm just calling it a corridor because, well, when if you zoom out, it what I've been through just sums up to being in a long corridor. But otherwise, there's open areas, there's stairs, there's corridors like actual ones. So it's actually like I would assume that it's actually a part of the game, like the real one. And maybe they just placed a couple of enemies more, so you don't wonder about the locked off parts.
Hmm.
But yeah, from what I've played, I do find the controls to be better than what I expected, especially coming from Lord of the Fallen, which was my main comparison.
Why would you play Lords of the
It
Fallen
was
over Dark
it was
Souls?
free. I felt ripped.
I
I felt
guess.
ripped off, even like that. But it was free.
Huh.
So yeah, um, as I said, the controls aren't as bad as I thought. Um, the shooting I think could have used a bit of work because
Well, it's Dark Souls.
well yeah, but
They don't want the shooting to be.
um, I played as a pyromancer because whatever magicians and rogues. But yeah, he starts with a level 13 magician with pre-built stuff, and I started with a bow and arrows and an axe, a shield, and pyromancy, and that's it.
Huh.
And the bow and arrow was really useful to kill a boar, like this gigantic boar that was like three times the size of me, to agree to come over to me and then just kill it with fire. And yeah, the shooting you have to figure out because it leads so far to the right that if you actually just aim with the like rightmost part of the reticle, you can actually do shots the way you wanted to go.
Yeah, I've never actually used the aiming system in those games.
Yeah, I
Come to think of it, so it's really difficult for me to understand properly what you're talking about.
have it recorded, so because when I get my voice back normally, I want to do a commentary thing over it. So
Okay.
yeah. Um, aside from that, I can see myself picking up Dark Souls just because I don't think that I'm a person who would enjoy that grind. Like as I've said, the controls are not really that hindering, like as I've thought, but the animations are still there, and I get having to choose your poison, but I still prefer you and the enemy having the same skill set and speed, and having to make choices fast and all that, over having to do things technically, because I'm not a logical person. I am, however, a person who can learn things. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Who can just have muscle memory, basically, as for what to do easily.
Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of in the opposite direction though, and then I'm absolutely horrible at learning. Learning muscle memory, but I get better at tactics, and that's generally where you'll see me get stronger in video games, is when it allows me to do that. So you and me are kind of in opposite directions there. What do you think, Pink? You haven't talked in a while, in a long while.
But yeah, I'm with you because I do much better when I give in like tactics, and that's why I'm so terrible at fighting games, because that's all stuff that you kind of learn over time and stuff that you whip out like gunslingers. They don't have to think about what they're shooting; they just whip out their pistol and shoot. I am very meticulous and methodical, and I have to think everything through. So, like, if you give me something tactical to learn, I will probably go all in and learn it and become the best ever as much as I can. But I do not do well in situations where I'm just given something that I have to kind of make stuff up as I go along the way.
Yeah, well, there are strategies to fighting games, but you have to spend a while with a character to figure them out. Like Ryu has the most obvious strategy of any of them, in terms of throw Hadoukens to get the opponent to start jumping, and when they jump, Shoryuken them. Like that's the most simple tactic of any fighting game tactic there is. And other characters have similar ones, like Guile can say the same, but instead of Hadoukens, Sonic Booms, and instead of Shoryuken's Flash Kicks. But there is also a big skill element in some of them, like like Injustice, Injustice has longer combos than Street Fighter, that's for sure. And there are games like Guilty Gear or Marvel vs. Capcom that have even longer combos than Injustice. You'll get fucking crazy 30-hit combos sometimes in Guilty Gear or Marvel. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, there is a tactical aspect, and I think about a year or so ago, I definitely was in your, and I'm kind of learning more about fighting games, and I feel like that's one of the main things I'm learning is every character plays different in that regard, and every character uses different tactics like that.
Here's what you need to know
I don't know.
about Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh, what is this? Oh, the little pumpkin cactus thing. I forgot that thing was there. Oh, Iron Man Infinite. Oh, okay, I forgot. That Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was completely fucking broken.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
Like, watch the commentary. The guy
I
games.
won't because I'm in the middle of recording a fucking podcast, but
I don't mean right
We're
now. I
professionals
don't mean
here.
right now.
But yeah, Marvel 2 is probably one of the worst examples of that. Marvel 2 is the most hilariously imbalanced fighting game, not only because of Iron Man Infinite, but also because, have you ever seen any of the tier lists for Marvel 2?
I have not.
Okay, Cable, Storm, Sentinel, and who was it? the fourth guy. It's Cable, Storm, Sentinel, and Magneto, maybe? I'm not sure. But like it's a well-known thing with Marvel too that only 4 characters out of the entire roster of 50-something characters, only 4 are considered viable. Legitimately, you
Yeah,
do
I
not.
actually remember hearing about Cable and the Sentinel from Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, they're just hilariously broken because all of Cable's ranged attacks are full screen beam, and Sentinel, in addition to being a big character that has like ways he can suffer less hit stun or something like crazy like that, he also has full screen projectiles. And Storm has her fucking lightning strike. So I think Magneto has full screen beams as well. Like some people use Captain Commando just as an assist character to call in, but the game is like well known for the fact that the roster might as well just be 4 characters. And considering it's a game where you pick 3 people to fill out a team, that means that every match is going to include the entire game. Fighting games can be fucking dumb. It's the really funny thing to me about Marvel 2 is that it came at the same time as Third Strike, where Third Strike is in the complete opposite direction and is like near perfectly balanced, where every character is completely viable. Which Marvel got better. I know that with Infinite right now, like there's kind of an issue of Sigma, Ultron, and Thanos are way better than everybody else. But SF5 is pretty fucking balanced. I mean, Ryu's pretty low on the tiers right now, but other than that, it's pretty good.
I thought about us buying Ultimate MVC 3.
That one. Well, the thing is, I already have that one, so that'll be convenient for me. But that's another one of those games that depends on whether your local video game shop or, in the case of Addy, whether your online video has a good deal on it. I think that part of the reason why I think we could have fun with Infinite is because Marvel 3 is a fucking cocaine crack riddled insanity fest of the screen flashing while characters do 50 million hit air combos. So I think that the 3 of us wouldn't really have too much fun with that. We're not that kind of fighting game player. I don't know. Maybe it's just me that thinks that.
Oh yeah, but Infinite
No,
doesn't have
I think I
Akuma.
agree.
It does have Akuma, but it's not one of the best Akumas by any means.
Infinite has Akuma.
Well, it does have Akuma, but Akuma's not great in it. You said that it had, and that was a response to it.
But wait, you are talking about Infinite.
I'm not talking about
I
Infinite. I'm talking about 3.
Infinite has Akuma. Not if it has Akuma.
Okay, Infinite does not have Akuma.
Yeah, that's
no,
what I'm
it does
saying. Infinite doesn't have Akuma.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's my thing against it. No, seriously, I don't have a main. Like, I don't know who I'd pick out of this. Like, I guess Strider, but...
Strider's pretty fucking good in Marvel Infinite. I mean, I don't know if there's any characters that are similar to it. The thing you like about Akuma is his air knockdown and his air fireball, right? Nova might have some of that. I'm not sure. I can't exactly. Nova might be your kind of character. I can't remember exactly. And Nova is in Marvel Infinite.
Yeah, I'm looking at the whole character list. Man, is that a really small roster.
It's a tiny fucking roster, especially compared to Marvel 3 2. Like, the thing is that it just got pushed out half-baked really badly. The gameplay is amazing. The roster isn't there. And there's still some rumors shooting around every now and then that Season 2 of DLC, but there's no fucking way. Like, it makes me sad to say it because it is a great fighting game at its core, but Marvel Infinite is a dead game. Like, Marvel and Capcom both killed it right out of the gate by giving it a shoestring budget.
Yep.
Like I have told you guys that it had half the budget of season 1 of Street Fighter V, right?
Yep.
It has the same budget as Alex, Guile, and Ibuki, SF5. 3 characters off the roster of SF5. That is fucking nuts. I don't understand Capcom. Like, Capcom is getting steadily closer every day to God days, but they're still not there yet. They keep making big slip ups like Infinite, and it's sad. So where are we sitting at for footage time, Addy?
4.5 hours.
Jesus fucking Christ! It will take 2 hours. It will take 5 hours for this to hold on, what's the word I'm looking for? Export. It will take 5 hours for this to export and 2 hours for it to upload. We'd better tie this up now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably
And
so.
Also, so that I can eat dinner and we can play Smite, because we're running out of time to do that as well.
Oh yeah. Indeed.
All right. See you later, audience. I don't know. Bye.
Yeah. You do the outro because you weren't here for the intro.
Yeah, I always do the outro. Fuck off. Bye.
Bye.
Eddie!